And good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome back to the XXXTentacion murder trial for what will be technically my last day of watching this live. Please remember, folks, that I will be catching this. I will be doing this on replay starting from Monday. But in the meantime, it's going to be some interesting shit, hopefully. Hello, Jevony the Witch, who's on first? Tina's on second. Oh. Sorry I wasn't in the chat last half of the day. Went to get a manicure and pedicure with my mum. Oh, fantastic. No, there's never any need whatsoever to say sorry for something like that. Always spend time with your family wherever you can. Let's see, that should be going through now, so that should be fixing up that. Why is it saying I still have a unstable connection? Meh. Probably got something still open. What do we got? So I think a mouse was living in my car while it was being fixed. I'm not surprised though, due to how messy it got. Damn, Nessa. Girl, look. Sometimes got to clear out the takeaway wrappers, okay? But there it is. Oh shit! Actually, what I should do is put the branding on for the trial because we're not fans of Lelo and Cook. So happy Friday to everyone in the US. It's officially 5:25 in the morning on Saturday morning for me, so I have a messy car, I get busy. That's fair enough. Honestly, I'm not one to talk, okay? I am not one to talk about it, really. Just make sure you're getting it regularly serviced so that it continues to work properly. And, hey, look at that. Woke up to notification with the stream. What a gay way to start the day. Well, let's face it, I, actually put everything out about an hour early because I woke up on time. Jason J, good morning. Hello. Very good morning to yourself as well. Oh, actually, hang on. I need to double check whether or not I have put the volume up on the cord. Because we all know that their audio sucks. No, I have not. Okay. Where's the other volume booster? Other volume booster is up as well. Can't believe I've got to use two separate bloody volume boosters for this shit show. No brain freezer. Can't stay long this Got to get some sleep. It's 4:30 a.m. but want to say hi and watch the replay. Oh, no, watch the replay. No worries. Thank you very much for being here and hitting the like button. I appreciate that. Ooh. Oh, yeah, see, that... Yeah, no. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Indigo, hello, happy Friday. So, where are we? What do I need here? Just having a quick look through news articles as well, so we've got stuff to fill in time. Looks like the camera guy is still sighting himself in. Looks like yesterday was fairly boring in terms of news. I mean, of course, North Korea shot off another missile. For the coverage of the murder trial, the Australian newspaper says one man sinks a US family dynasty. Prosecutors attempt to show murder seeking advantage with a solicitor badge, and his testimony will continue today as he goes head-to-head with prosecutors in the murder trial. Speaking of which, I could probably just be showing that at the moment, but I mean... Is he still on the stand? I mean, I assume so. There's 132,000 people watching, and apparently something's happened to the Law and Crime page because they've said they'll be right back, so maybe they're having technical difficulties themselves. So, it's always interesting. What else we got? Gunman kills 3, including a reporter. Yeah, covered that. Actually, we saw that yesterday. Hang on. Thank you, Jason J, for your $5 super chat. With the prosecutor being a complete a-hole yesterday on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think Alec will be successful on appeal? See, the really annoying thing is that even on appeal, the conduct of the prosecutor himself isn't going to be what it gets called into question. I'm still, like, don't get me wrong, I would love to sit down and watch that appeal. I really will. But if the matter does get appealed, it's not going to be because of the conduct. It's going to be because of, frankly, I think it's going to be the judge. It's going to be what causes the appeal. Oh, that's someone new. Hello. Who's what? Just gonna turn that down so I can hear that thing. The judge putting his hands in his face. Look, at this point, I'm expecting that he'll. I don't know. It's annoying. I don't want to speculate because I think that. I mean, it's very clear that Alec got a raw deal. Very, very clear. Oh, Mummy Esquire looking good this morning. But no, I think it'd be the judge's conduct, frankly, that gets him the appeal, in my own personal opinion. Because the judge is the one that approved all of the financial shit.
First, because the motion that was filed by defense was prior to today. That was the motion that we filed to strike their motion for an order to show cause. So we had a motion for order to show cause that was filed prior to today for the deposition that was supposed to take place today. And then we filed a motion to strike that because it was untimely. But now, because the deposition was supposed to take place today, I think at 11.
Hang on, I'll turn my mic down so you can turn up your volume.
I don't believe that motion to strike is applicable. I'm not sure if it is because they still filed it early.
All these new.
File it timely. The date on the motion for order to show cause is 3 days before the actual order to show cause would even be considered. So we filed our motion to quash yesterday and a renewed motion for a protective order. So I think procedurally, I would argue that motion to quash first, but I'm at the court's leisure.
All right. Well, first thing first, there's two people in the waiting room, but it's got to be pulled up on there.
Thank you, Judge. And Judge, I disagree, and I know my boss.
I'm just saying, I need to get that going. I don't know how that someone needs to join the meeting.
And that's just a suggestion. You can do it, Judge. You're the judge. You do it any way you want. Thank you.
Yeah. Log in the courtroom. All right, getting back to you gentlemen. What?
Goddamn, playing around with this audio is so difficult.
Yes.
And I grant that, then all the other stuff goes away.
Correct.
For now.
Correct. For now.
For now.
For now.
But then it has the ability to continue to come back. So if we go to the other portion of it, maybe we can resolve without.
I don't think you could. And I'll tell you why. The reason why is because, yes, it could come back, but you would consider my alternative motion, the motion for protective order at this point, because 3 witnesses have testified now.
That's what I'm saying. I would rather deal with that than the initial.
Yeah, well,
let's to the heart of the matter.
Yes,
Judge. Giselle,
Giselle's my sister.
Recording in
And James Beard is the California prosecutor. And Judge, regardless of what your decision is of how you want to handle it, I know Mr. Beard has a scheduling issue, so I just want to get him out of the way. And then the court can decide however it wishes. I let him know we're trying to get him as quick as possible. And for efficiency purposes, Judge, if Mr. Beard is going to testify that what's in his affidavit,
No, let's
I'll
have a look at
stipulate to that affidavit. I'm very happy with that.
Actually, there's an affidavit filed that is now contradicting everything that he said, and I just want to get some testimony from Mr. Baird.
So Baldwin's officially pled not guilty.
From the security that was there.
By the way, have you guys announced yourselves for the record?
Oh, Mauricio Balling on behalf of Dedrick Williams. Brad Cohen on behalf of Aubrey Drake.
Brad Cohen on behalf of Mr. Graham.
I see Mr. Baird's on there.
That's a lovely picture.
That's me.
That's a great picture of you.
I was a little bit thinner.
Yeah, you look great.
What is with the audio?
Relaxed.
These trials made me a little fatter.
It's okay. Maybe a little balder.
So,
Yes.
you want to just take some testimony?
Yeah,
from now
real
on?
quick. To get him out
Hello,
of the
that's a
way,
new name. Thank you for joining.
What's in his affidavit and the affidavit we filed from the security guard is pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's said in a different way.
It actually is not. It completely misstates what occurred, and I would just like to get him on the record now that I have him present.
Yeah, we also need your client.
Well, my client waived. My client waived because my client came out here and he wasn't properly dressed, and I told him that if he wanted to, he could waive it, and he's
So
I
I
should have done that on the record.
correct.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Did you go back already?
Yeah.
Sorry, Judge.
Isn't he being kept in this particular jail? I mean, it's a first degree murder charge.
Has he already been sent away, or how far away is he?
He needs to put it on the record, Judge, for appellate purposes that he's waiving.
How far away is he? Will he go all the way back?
All the way back.
How long will it take to get him?
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie. That was just, like, rude of his client. Dedrick Williams showed up in court not properly dressed for court. So presumably he was either wearing inappropriate garments, potentially... I mean, he's in jail, so he was probably wearing the prison suit. I'm wondering how the hell that happened. Prison guards should have known better. In the meantime, I'm going to go over and check what my audio sounds like so that I'm not annoying the hell out of people. OMG, that's hilarious. So, you know the property court that I occasionally drop in on? This is what they're showing at the moment. They've shared a Word document to say that they're in recess. That is hilarious. Honestly, that is hilarious. Alright, I'm just going to keep sharing that because the video's still there. Okay, so in the meantime, let's listen. Here's some news for you people. In Avignon, a woman fended off an alleged attacker by biting off his tongue and then handing it to police as evidence. A 57-year-old French woman said she was the victim of an SA at around 4 a.m. last Sunday. Radio station France Bleu reported that the woman was taking her dog for a walk in Avignon, about 100 kilometres north of Marseille, in northern France. Southern France. Going in the wrong direction. She said a man approached her, grabbed and forcibly kissed her, and also said the man put his hand down her trousers. As the woman struggled, she bit off a piece of the man's tongue, which she then kept. After returning home, the woman and her son went to the local police station to report the crime and hand over the tongue fragment to help identify the alleged attacker. The police have subsequently arrested a Tunisian man in his 30s. France Bleu said the man alleged that he was trying to charm the woman and that it was she who jumped him. Bullshit. New definition of French kissing. Further reports have suggested he was an illegal immigrant who will be deported regardless of the outcome of the case. Severing part of the alleged man's anatomy has a history. Last year, a woman in India cut off her boyfriend's penis after claiming to have caught him trying to grape her 14-year-old. The woman, 36, had lived with her boyfriend for 2 years after separating from an alcoholic husband, according to reports. This took a turn. She came home from a day at work on a farm and she caught her boyfriend red-handed. He even attacked me while I was trying to save my daughter, so I brought a knife from the kitchen and chopped off his private parts to teach him a lesson, the woman told the Times of India. I have no regrets for what I did. The police in the... I can't pronounce that. Mahawajan region of the Uttar Pradesh area, an area east of New Delhi, arrested the boyfriend 32 on charges of rape and sexual assault under the child sexual assault laws in India. Officers referred him for treatment since they found him in a critical condition. Okay, and apparently, Alec Baldwin has pled not guilty to the manslaughter in the Rust film shooting. Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin has pled not guilty on Thursday to manslaughter over the death of the cinematographer who was shot on the set of the low-budget western Rust. The actor also agreed to the court's terms that will allow him to complete filming of the movie, including a ban on using guns and on drinking alcohol. Baldwin was holding a Colt 45 during rehearsals for the film in New Mexico when it discharged, killing Helena Hutchins in October 2021. The movie's director, Joel Souza, was wounded in the incident also. The US actor had been expected to make his first court appearance on Friday, but made an administrative filing on Thursday waiving that right and entering his plea. Both Baldwin and a co-producer, the film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez, he's a co-producer and lead actor, obviously, and the film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez, who was responsible for weapons on the set, faced 2 alternate counts of voluntary manslaughter. Prosecutors often level alternate charges because it increases the likelihood of a conviction, giving a jury greater scope to return a guilty verdict. If found guilty, they could face up to 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. Isn't that just great? Someone lost their life and someone else got shot, and it's a total of 18 months. They really screwed the pooch on that one. Yeah, $5,000 fine, exactly. The enhancement charge that could have increased the maximum by 5 years was dropped by the New Mexico First Judicial District Attorney this week. Well, let's be clear though, that was because they had to drop it because it wasn't part of the law at the time. How the hell has the prosecutor only just arrived? Where was she? Yeah, okay, sweetheart. It's not a freaking, meet and greet. She's acting like she's an actress and all her adoring fans are walking past the red carpet. What the hell? Alright, Baldwin, 64, has repeatedly said that he told the crew that the gun was not loaded. What? Has repeatedly said he was told by the crew that the gun was not loaded. I still can't read. The former 30 Rock star had previously insisted he did not pull the trigger, though FBI firearms experts said that this was not possible. Baldwin's attorney, Luke Nikes, has vowed to beat the charge, which he called a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe that there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the set, he said. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him that the gun did not have live rounds. We will fight these charges, and we will win. Yeah, there's probably friends in the audience. She on the red carpet, apparently. Lawyers for Gutierrez Reed said that they were confident that the young armourer will be cleared. Should have said former 30 Rock actor. Yeah. The assistant director, Dave Halls, who handed Baldwin the weapon and told him it was cold, industry speak for safe, has previously agreed to plead guilty to negligent use of a deadly weapon. He will serve a suspended sentence of 6 months of probation. Documents filed on Thursday show that Baldwin is out on bail ahead of any future trial with several conditions. These include that he will not drink alcohol, he will not possess firearms or dangerous weapons. He is also barred from having contact with any witnesses in the case, save from in connection with the completion of the Rust movie. Producers announced last year that the project would be restarted, with all principal players resuming their roles. That includes Baldwin and Sousa, who said he would devote his work of the film to honouring Helena's legacy and making her proud. A lengthy investigation into the incident looked at how the live round and 5 others got onto the set, and how it ended up in a prop gun. After announcing the changes in January, Carmack Altoids said that the production had a fast and loose attitude with safety, with these live rounds mixed in with dummy rounds. And then they somehow got loaded into the gun, handed off to Alec Baldwin. He didn't check it. He didn't do any of the things he was supposed to do to make sure he was safe on set, and that anyone around him was also safe. He then pointed the gun at Helena Hutchins and pulled the trigger. The accident sent shockwaves through Hollywood and led to calls for a total ban of real guns on set. Industry experts have said that there are already stringent safety rules in place, but that these were ignored. Baldwin and other figures involved in the production face a raft of civil claims, including from the Ukrainian family of 42-year-old Hutchins. That's a complete not a money grab, in my own opinion. It's Complicated star last year reached an undisclosed settlement with Hutchins' widow. Did you see the sentencing of that dude who wanted an unaliving sentence? Never seen a happier dude. He said his soul was doing fine. Nah, I haven't seen it. Nah, she's going to prison. Yep. Best friend's brother's on the left. He was my date for grad. Lol. Right as my bestie's hubby. She's in the photo. Oh, okay. You're talking about your icon. Okay. Ooh. So basically what we are waiting for right now is for Dedrick Williams to put his pants on and get to court. What else we got? Flight attendant 24 dies on tarmac. Oh, that's not good. How's that happened? A flight attendant who died suddenly when her plane landed revealed how much she loved her job in her final Instagram post. Greta Demirci, 24, a cabin crew member for Air Albania, was travelling from Tirana, the Albanian capital, to Essex in the UK on December 21, when she suddenly fainted on the tarmac. We haven't heard from Rabbit as of yet, Dog Mama. She had to go to get her... She got an emergency appointment with the dentist, so we probably won't see her until, I don't know, later part of the day, I suppose. Oh, thank you very much for putting that up there too, Impish. Where are I? Paramedics provided first aid and CPR when arriving on the scene. Oh, damn it. Oof. You know, I actually got some sleep last night too. I mean, I got a whole, 5 or 6 hours compared to the 4 that I've been having. I'm feeling better than I had, but apparently still tired. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Fair enough. She cracked a tooth, and she had to get an emergency dentist appointment. She was going to have to wait till April, but they were able to fit her in today to put a cap on. Paramedics provided first aid and CPR after arriving on the scene following reports of a woman being seriously ill, but she sadly died. A post-mortem found that she had died from sudden adult death syndrome. The flight attendant, who regularly posted about her travels on Instagram, shared an aerial view of the city lights at night, taken around June last year with the caption, "That's why I love my job." She shared another clip from a plane window roughly 9 weeks before her death that showed the vast ocean, buildings, and countryside. Ms. Demisha also shared footage on Instagram where she had been seen enjoying a night out with colleagues. Essex Coroner's Court heard this week the young woman had been given basic first aid on the tarmac when she appeared to faint after the plane landed. 10 minutes later, there was no pulse and CPR commenced. Paramedics treated her and confirmed that she had passed away, said the area coroner for Essex. A post-mortem found her cause of death to be sudden adult death syndrome. Sudden adult death syndrome, also known as sudden arrhythmic death syndrome, is when someone dies suddenly and unexpectedly from a cardiac arrest, but the cause of the cardiac arrest cannot be found. So her heart just stopped. The Baker Heart and Diabetes Institute of Australia explains that it is one of the biggest killers of Australians under 50 and is 5 times more likely to affect men. Glitterfart, it was already a thing. It's just that everyone's linking the cases of when it happens to the umbrella now. There was already people dying from it long before we had the bloody... Anyway. No, he's brave free. Go get some sleep. The primary cause of sudden cardiac SCD. Sudden arrhythmic death syndrome is in adults over 35 is coronary heart disease. In younger people, it's congenital heart conditions and heart arrhythmia disorders. Ms. Brown said that at the time of the incident, she was by the front doors of the plane at a stranded airport. This is suitable for a documentary inquest in due course, she added. A statement issued by Air Albania at the time of the flight attendant's death said on December 21, after disembarking, the passengers from our flight to London... After disembarking the passengers from our flight to London, one of our cabin crew had a heart attack. Even after all medical assistance was provided immediately, we still lost her. She was taken to hospital in London and procedures are being followed. From the first moments, Air Albania contacted her family, and we continue to be close to them in these difficult moments. In respect of Greta and her family, we decided to share the news with the public at an appropriate time. We will also always remember Greta as a passionate professional, an excellent co-worker, and a great friend to us all. May God mercy her and give her family peace. Air Albania will continue to be with her family.
And now he's already here. He's already gonna sit through.
Very well.
And just we have Mr. Baird on the screen. I just wanted to get some testimony from him because I know he's on a time crunch.
I don't. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
With you.
So you can unmute.
Hang on. Look at the photo that the judge uses for Zoom.
You gotta hit unmute.
Unmute.
Unmute, right? Unmute.
What did you say?
I said unmute. I think.
Sounded like a mute.
A little microphone.
So they managed to get the old guy onto Zoom, but not to unmute him.
You already unmuted once. You have to unmute, sir.
Oscar doesn't hear you.
Interesting. So they brought him back in his prison garb.
Judge, if you send him a request to unmute,
No,
you can
it's all
express
right.
it.
I wanted to call on the phone. Let's get it.
Yeah, and Dumbledore doesn't know how to use Zoom.
You just unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, earlier.
There you go. Oh, no.
No,
That's not
him,
it. That just makes it.
You have to unmute, sir. You have to unmute. You gotta hit the unmute button so we can hear you.
Is that touch?
You gotta hit the unmute. You're muted now. They're gonna send you a little.
Now that he's unmuted.
Okay, now you're unmuted. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Raise your right hand if you sworn. I need to see the right hand.
You got to show me your right hand.
Raise your right hand if you sworn.
You have to raise your right hand, sir.
You swear the testimony you're about to give in the case now and hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Put your hand down, state your full name, spell your last name for our record.
Oh, this is going to be time consuming.
Sir, did
I
you
don't
hear
think
the
you can hear.
court? You have to give your full name for the record.
James Nelson Bader, B-A-I-R-D.
Mr. Baird, are you a licensed California processor?
Yes, registered California processor.
Okay, and did you have the opportunity to attempt service on Aubrey Drake Graham?
Oh, for
Yes.
fuck's sake.
On what day did you do that?
What date?
Yes, sir.
So Colonel Mustard had Santa Claus try and
I wanna
serve
make sure I'm
Drake.
reading the right one. I think it's February 14th.
Okay, February 14th. While you were attempting service, was video taken to memorialize the attempted service?
Good question, then.
When on February 14th, when you attempted service, was there video taken to memorialize the service?
There was a video taken from what?
On February 14th, was video taken of your attempted service?
Yes.
Okay. Were there
Let's see it
three
now.
videos?
Is your
Three
name
different
Drake?
video clips
Who the fuck
taken
are
of the
you?
attempted
Is your name
service.
Drake? I can't hear
I
you.
have it in front of me, the video.
I understand that, sir. Were there three different video clips taken?
What's your question?
Did you take three different video clips?
What, do you see the one I have here?
No, I'm going to show you one now, okay? Giselle, play the first one. Share the screen and play the first one. I'm going to show you a video, sir.
Judge, I'm going to stipulate to the videos. That's it. I just want, let's just get the testimony that we need to out of him that contradicts allegedly my affidavit, and we can kind of move this along because I'll stipulate to the video, I'll stipulate to his affidavit, the information in his affidavit I'll stipulate to. I just want to find out what he's saying that's different than what my guy's saying.
Judge, I have video evidence. It contradicts the affidavit that he filed. I have my witness there, and I would like for him the opportunity. So, share the video, please.
It's not allowing me to share the video. It says the host has removed participant share screen.
The court doesn't allow them to share screens in Zoom. Well, Old Man Winter there's in California and the court's in Florida, so would have been a hell of a cab fare.
I think it's sharing now.
Giselle, try it again, please.
Plane ticket then? Maybe.
Judge, since
Tell me.
they wouldn't take my stipulation to let the video in, if we're going to do it through this witness, then I can object to it if he's doing it through this witness, because California is a two-party recording state. To my knowledge, the other party didn't accept the recording on private property. So I think that if he would have accepted my stipulation, I probably would have been okay with it. But if we're going to go through this guy to get it in, now I'm going to raise an objection. And I'm going to say California is a two-party state. We all know what a two-party state is, meaning both parties need to agree to being videotaped or filmed on private property. This was not in a public atmosphere. This was not on a public road. Even pursuant to his own affidavit, he says he was on private property because the security guard said, "Hey, get off the private property or we're going to call the police." So there's nothing in his affidavit. There's no testimony, nor is there on these videos that show they're in a public realm. So there's nothing that says, "Hey, I agree that
Colonel
you
must
taping
shoots
me,
himself in
I'm
the foot
okay
once
with it,"
again.
or that I accept you videotaping and audio taping me. So obviously I have to object. And I think in California, when it's a two-party state, I almost think that it's a felony to do it, but a misdemeanor, excuse me. I think it's a misdemeanor to do it, but I don't want to quote California law. We're in Florida. But long story short is I can't object to it coming in at this point because it's a two-party state. There's no acceptance by the other party. There's no video showing that there's acceptance by the other party, and it's on private property.
Okay, Judge, that mischaracterizes California law. It's incorrect what he's saying. The issue of a private conversation, the area where this was filmed was outside of the home, and that is not private as stated in California law. I have a California attorney, and I've asked her, if this is going to get to the point that we're arguing California law, I would like for her to chime in because I believe that completely mischaracterizes what the California law is. Let me look for the email where she addresses it so I can read it to the court.
Let's have a look ourselves, shall we? California makes it a crime to record or eavesdrop on any confidential communication, including a private conversation or telephone call without the consent of all parties to the conversation. California Penal Code 62632.
Okay, the two-party recording state doesn't apply. It's Penal Code 632, and it only applies when it's a private conversation and the parties have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the conversation. These are armed guards that are standing outside of a property that are being addressed by a process server. This is not someone in a living room or a kitchen having a private conversation. There's no expectation of privacy when you're doing your job and a process server is walking up to you. This is not the type of thing addressed by...
Just going to stop him there just briefly. Nope. If you're recording someone without their knowledge in a public or semi-public street, a place like a street or a restaurant, the person whom you have a recording may or may not have an objectively reasonable expectation that no one is listening in or overhearing the conversation, and the reasonableness of that expectation will depend on the particular factual circumstances. Therefore, you cannot necessarily assume that you are simply in the clear because you're in a public place. It's not strictly restricted directly to private property either. It is possible for it to apply to things that take place in semi-public places as well. So he's what's going on with their audio? Their audio keeps clicking. I have no idea, honestly. I'll double check whether or not Court TV have the same issues, but I would expect it's the same feed.
By California Penal Code 632. So that's not consistent with California law. I have hired a California attorney, which can chime in if the court wants. I'm simply trying to show the attempted service, which is par for the course, Judge. This happens all the time. So I don't believe that his objection has any validity. Specifically, my California attorney doesn't believe it has any validity. The witness is here on the stand.
Oh, Court TV aren't even covering it.
Judge, he didn't address that it's on private property. It was not in a public realm. It was on private property between two individuals, obviously Mr. Baird and the security officer. There's 100 feet of driveway before the main gate of the home. That 100 feet is still his property. They walked up, pursuant to his own affidavit, they walked up the driveway. They met the security guard at the gate at the top of the driveway. That is private property. There's no acceptance. There's no doubt that there was a discussion between two individuals on private property where one individual did not allow the recording. He did not accept the recording. I don't see where else. It doesn't need to be in a living room. It just needs to be an expectation of privacy. You're on private property having a discussion with an individual about, I don't know if he's serving him or whatever it is, whatever's in the affidavit, but certainly there is an expectation of privacy. There's no way around that. I don't understand why it has to be in a living room or a bedroom. It doesn't. There's no case law that they could ever produce that. number one. Number two is we're in Florida. It's great that a California lawyer wants to chime in, but she's not barred in Florida. The law is very clear, and the law is a reasonable expectation of privacy. You're on private property. Right off the bat, that should suggest that there is a reasonable expectation of privacy. If I'm in the confines of my home, and I don't mean in my home, but in the area of my home on private property, I'm not expecting to be recorded. These security guards are not expecting to be recorded. They're not outside by the street. They're not on the corner of the driveway. They are at the front gate of the home that's 100 feet in from the road. Now, if it was 5 feet in from the road, okay, you might expect Google Earth to come by and record you. You might expect some guy to record you from a car. That's not what happened here. He walked.
Oh, whoops.
Up the driveway, pursuant to his own affidavit. He walked up the driveway, confronted the security guards on the driveway on private property, and then said whatever he said, and the security guards said whatever they said. Now, that being said, I don't have an objection to his.
She'd still need to be sworn in to be in front of the court,
This is what they said to me. This is what I said back. His actual affidavit. The fact that Mr. Padilla quoted the video in his motion, I didn't file a motion on that because I didn't expect the video was coming in because there was so much testimony as to what happened on the video. The only reason to show this video now is some salaciousness, something that's sexy, where a security guard is telling an individual, "I'm not accepting service." Put all that aside. The fact of the matter is, it's still a two-party state.
Yeah, let's not bring Nelly in. We've already got
an affidavit that says this individual said, "I'm okay with you recording me."
Judge, if that was the case,
Continue to ask your questions.
okay. But I just want to make this argument real quick. Judge, if that's the case, TMZ and paparazzis would never be able to take a picture in California. So that's incorrect. And I understand that this is Florida, but he's quoting California law. He talked about case law, but he didn't bring any, nor did he bring a California attorney to educate the court on California law. Sir, I'm going to show you a video for that's going to be shared. Giselle, share the video.
Are we sharing the video, Judge? Or is he asking a question? Because the fact that he brought up TMZ is interesting because that's all on public property. Even TMZ knows that they can't go up someone's driveway and start recording somebody on private property without their acceptance. And I'll give you one further. When they come in with a big television camera, you understand that you're on TV because it's a big television camera. This guy recorded unbeknownst to anybody, and it just shouldn't be coming in. It's not just the fact that it's a two-party state. It's the fact that you didn't get permission from the other party. And I can give you all the case law you want, Judge. It's a reasonable expectation of privacy is on someone.
Objection sustained. I don't need to see that.
You don't need to see the video?
I'm willing to listen to the testimony of the witnesses who were there.
Okay. Sir, when you approached the home of Aubrey Drake Graham, did you identify yourself as a process server?
Documented.
Sir, when you went to the home of Aubrey Drake Graham, did you identify yourself as a process server?
Methuselah has checked out.
Mr. Baird.
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, sorry. Mr. Baird, I'm speaking to you. When you went to the home of Aubrey Drake Graham on February 14th, did you identify yourself to security as a process server?
Yes.
Okay. What occurred after that?
I have a card. I have a process server card.
Okay. Did you identify yourself and show that card to the security?
I identified myself as process server to the security.
Did you tell them what pleadings you were serving? Did you tell them what you were going to serve?
Yes.
Okay. Did they accept those papers? Did they accept those papers?
No, immediately I was told that there would be no acceptance, no admission, and he would not call the witness, Aubrey Graham.
Did you ask?
No cooperation at all.
Did you ask him to call him? many security guards told you that they would not accept service?
There were two there, but I was mainly speaking to one particular one. The other one stayed in the background on the property.
Did you at any moment become frustrated or upset?
Question again.
Did you at any moment become frustrated or upset?
No, I stay passive. I mean, frustrated mentally, but I just repeated and emphasized that they are required to, at least, if I cannot gain entrance for some reason, but I'm legally completing a service by leaving it with security. That's California law. No access, then you may leave it with security.
Okay, and did you in fact do that?
Yes.
After
He did
you,
not take it in hand. He started ordering me off the property. After several attempts, say it was frustration, but it was not anything but passive, polite request to leave it, and he insisted that I leave right away, and he became the overall negative, or he's threatening to call the police. So in the end, after several attempts, and I didn't approach him hardly enough to, he would just chase me away. So I had to leave it at his feet.
did you,
Some distance away. I couldn't go up to it and hand it to him.
after you left it on the floor, what did he do with it?
Ordered me to leave, and by the time I got down to the bottom of the driveway, he had started kicking it down the long driveway, multiple foot kicks. So it eventually wound up in the street. We had to leave. There was nothing that could be done.
So the security guard
And sir,
kicked the papers into the
your
street
work as
without
process
opening them.
server in California, have you before or videotaped a service to have proof of the service?
I have a videotape of this service.
My question is, in California, do you memorialize process serving through video sometimes?
I don't know what you're asking about. California memorialized what? I have a registration card.
I understand, sir.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm currently registered.
Just ask him, has he previously recorded it? Has he ever recorded any other services?
Okay, I have no further questions.
Yeah.
Here's the card.
Yeah, I see it. That's great. Mr. Baird, can you hear me?
Question.
Can you hear me, Mr. Baird?
Turn the volume up. It's a little low.
Yes, let's turn the volume up.
Okay, go ahead. I think you're better now.
Thank you. My name is Brad Cohen. I represent Mr. Graham. Okay? I'm going to ask you some questions. Sir, do you understand me?
I'm just trying to see if I got your name here on you, approve the services. I can't understand it when you say it. Brad?
Brad Cohen.
Yeah, I see you, Fort Lauderdale address.
That's me. All right? Mr. Baird, can I ask you, and this isn't in an insulting way or anything, do you have issues with your hearing?
You have to repeat your question. Issues with my appearance?
No, sir. Issues with your hearing. Your hearing.
Hearing issues?
Yes, do you have any hearing issues?
You said hearing, right?
Yes, sir. Not herring. Hearing. No. There's no help that needs to be given. This is
I don't know what your question is. Do I have issues with
hearing.
Yeah, you obviously does.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
But you have to slow down and be very clear when you say that word.
Yes. Sometimes something, sir. How long have you been a process server?
Oh, decades. I don't know when it started.
Okay.
Oh my
When
God.
you say you left it at the feet of a security guard, is that accurate?
I had no other choice. They have to take it by law, even though I couldn't get his name, even though I couldn't have him officially call. I don't know. They were doing things for a while. It was 5 or 10 minutes. But I don't believe they called the witness. And I never got the name of the security. The only thing left I could do is leave it on protest, under protest. That was all the best I could do.
Leaving it under protest, you dropped it on the driveway, correct?
I could not put it into his hand. He would start to chase me away, threaten to call, wave his hands like that, and tell him, no, you have to leave, I'll call the police.
You dropped it on the driveway, correct?
Yeah, in his presence.
Okay.
And he,
Was it?
I should have been there dropping it in front of him, right, not up real close, but there was no question. He was watching me drop it basically in front of him.
Was it in a manila envelope when you dropped it on the driveway?
What's the question when I dropped it on the driveway? What?
Was it in an envelope?
It was partially pulled out. You can see the document in the envelope.
You stated that he never picked up the document, that he started kicking it down the driveway. Is that correct?
I heard the last part. He did very clearly, about 10 times, 15 times, kick it on further and further, step by
You
step,
never look
down
at
the
the document,
driveway.
it's not appropriate service.
Very exaggerated, but that was by kicking it.
Sir, is this
Oh,
a
must be
gated
fucking so hard, isn't
community?
Question?
Is this a gated community?
No, it's a long driveway going up to one large, very large gate that is solid. You can't see through it. You can see the house further up, but it's not very visible. And it's just that one residence at the end of the driveway.
You signed an affidavit on February 17th. Yes?
Yeah, I have it here.
Good. In that affidavit, it is for an attorney, correct? You provided it to an attorney?
The affidavit states what?
The affidavit, who prepared it?
You're cutting out.
Okay. Who prepared the affidavit?
Well, I signed it, then I okayed it by
Who?
reviewing it thoroughly. So, yeah, I prepared it.
You typed this affidavit, sir?
I don't understand your question. I authorized it and went through the case very thoroughly and signed it. Now, what would the question
Yeah, but
be?
who typed it out?
Who typed the affidavit for you?
Well, you're questioning my signature. I don't like answering your question. I signed my affidavit. That's it.
Gotcha. Who prepared the affidavit?
That's not the same
If we can
thing
ever
as
get
signing
there. Who prepared it?
Well, you're in a remote session now. You know that I said I signed my affidavit.
Yes, but
Now,
it's the same
does
thing as
every-
it.
Are you hand, or do you have other people help you? Come on.
Answer the question, sir.
That was the judge. He said, answer the question. Who prepared the affidavit?
He's worried he's going to get in trouble because of his old age. Because someone else.
Mauricio knows that I prepared it.
This has
Mauricio
me-
knows you prepared it.
And
Okay.
This has me thinking
You
that someone
typed
else
it up
pulled that
with your own
affidavit.
hand, right?
I did sign it, yes.
Okay. Sir, you testified earlier that you asked them to make a
certainly be thorough and review it. I have it here.
Oh, holy shit.
My declaration, as it's called, not an affidavit, of attempted service. Now, you must have read the question.
Sir,
Well,
you
it'll be on the replay,
testified
you thought.
that you asked them to make a call. I'm asking you. Hold on, sir.
It's a poor global connection.
Sir,
On it.
hold on. Let me finish my question. You earlier said, I asked them to make a phone call to Mr. Graham. That is your testimony, correct? Under oath, correct? That is a yes or no, sir.
Okay, he should not need to be reread his affidavit to be able to say that.
Is that your testimony?
I'm reading the affidavit. The question again is
2 hours later.
The question is, did you testify earlier that you told them to call Mr. Graham? That's the question. Yes? You can look at that affidavit.
I'm trying to see if it says it here on the affidavit.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm going to let you in on a secret. It doesn't say it in your affidavit.
The detail. They wouldn't give me the name.
Right.
They wouldn't call.
Let me cut to the chase, sir. Can I?
Okay, I just need to take a slight break here. Robert, just to clarify, this guy, this 81-year-old process server from California, was given court documents to serve on Drake. That is why we are currently going around in circles with Colonel Mustard and this complete nutter. How did this turn into a Monty Python episode? It's a damn good question. Honestly. Gonna let you in on a secret. It's not in there. Is he the minister for silly walks? Could well be. This is actually painful. All this shows is that Colonel Mustard has screwed himself over at every possible opportunity. He's very clearly not done his research on the process server before engaging them, because there's a good chance that he engaged a service and the service has outsourced it. And clearly the guy in... Oh yeah, this is still the Tentacion trial. But it's part of Colonel Mustard trying to drag Drake into this. So... thought it was Gandalf on hard times, as did I when I first saw it. But in this instance, it was the security guard saying, "You shall not pass."
Cut to the chase, the big reveal. It does not say it in your affidavit. And earlier you said you read the affidavit. It's very thorough. I know what's in that affidavit because I make them thorough. But you didn't put that in the affidavit, sir, did you?
I didn't put on the affidavit that I told them to call.
Okay.
No, you didn't put it in the affidavit.
That was his answer.
Oh, the one that you typed.
I certainly did tell them. Now, I can find the word.
Maybe that's it.
Now he's going to take a phone call in the middle of a court hearing.
So, exact wording, if you want to.
Yeah, the exact wording, sir. But you did state that you drop served it, correct? That was
drop it in their
Great.
presence.
But that's called a drop serve, correct?
Who's the bell roll in the scenario?
You
Who do you reckon
understand
would
it,
first?
and it's slang if you want, but it was left, and the requirement is that you have to leave it.
I understand,
If you
sir.
don't take it in hand, then you have to drop it.
Sir, your affidavit on page 2, it's not slang I'm using. This affidavit that you read so thoroughly, that you typed up with your own hand, you wrote in paragraph 4, thereafter, I posted the subpoena and notice of deposition by drop serve. Those are your words, sir, not mine. Correct?
I'd like to answer your question, but you know, this audio is not where I can really follow what you're saying. You're questioning whether
Somehow I feel like he'd be worse on the telephone, if I'm completely honest.
not call, and I had to quote unquote drop serve because they would not take it in hand, told me to leave, and would not give their name. That's it.
Right. And you got it on audio that you asked them to call, though, right?
Question again.
Yes or no?
Objection, mischaracterized
Your
practice.
question was, did I have
Did you get it on audio? Did you get it on audio?
Objection, argument.
Yes or no?
Objection, argument.
to protect it? I put it partially in an envelope. It was visibly a document extended out of the envelope.
Yeah. Did you get that on video, sir?
Did I do what?
The partially exposed in the manila envelope that was closed.
It was a halfway in.
It was halfway in.
Or even further out. It was out of the envelope, but I just provided something to enable like a courier handling, not
No,
newspapers.
the guy asking the questions isn't Colonel Mustard at this point. This is Drake's lawyer.
Gotcha.
It was good and visible as a document.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your testimony. You got that on video too, right?
Question again.
You got that on video that it was halfway out of the envelope, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it eventually got inserted the whole way, but he saw it was a document.
Who insert, sir? Now we're coming into a new realm. Who inserted it? You?
I think he asked if it was me that was serving him.
No. You put it in the envelope and dropped it on the ground, correct?
But I had shown him that it was a
I'm
document.
gonna laugh so hard if it comes out that it was the guy that's
That's
in the
what I
background
want
through
to
the
know.
process
And you
server.
left it in the envelope on the ground, correct?
To protect it, but he was very aware that it was a document.
Great. Thank you.
Sir, they're asking you questions about the audio. Do you have problems hearing this particular Zoom hearing?
Gotcha, bitch.
Questioning him, talking to me.
Do you have problems hearing this particular Zoom hearing?
Do I have problems hearing?
The Zoom, this Zoom, the audio on the Zoom, is it okay?
Yeah.
The ongoing hearing
I'd
now.
say it's probably because he was the one that's
Yeah, it's
Sir,
been doing it as opposed to the guy that's
50-50
asked
I
to do
can't,
it.
it's in the background, it's distorted a little, and it's not clear, it's not good quality at all.
Sir, in your career as a process server, what you did in this particular case, is that valid service in California?
That's an objection, Judge. Is asking for a legal conclusion.
Is that-
And this guy can't even, he can't even testify.
Judge, I'd like to make an argument to the court while I still have one cent. Mr. Cohen has attacked his ability to hear. He's attacked whether or not what occurred on that video, and he's asking the court to not allow it pursuant to 632 Penal Code. 632 Penal Code says that a communication is considered confidential if it is not intended to be overheard by others, if there is a reasonable expectation of confidentiality by any of the parties involved. Obviously, Judge, these are armed security at the gate of a mansion. This is not the type. So now the issue is, after what he's done to this witness, now the video is completely relevant because it backs up everything that he said. And he's done a fine job of trying to, attack his credibility and what occurred. So really now the video really is an issue.
The judge
and
is so
California
done right
Penal
now.
Code 632 doesn't apply. That's where the two-party argument that he says is. So I'm asking now that I be allowed to show the video.
Two things. One is, I'm stipulating to his affidavit. It's everything in his affidavit. The fact that he can or can't hear, there was a guy who just popped in the screen and goes, obviously he can't hear, and he popped back out, which may be his associate, which I still have, after he's finished with his redirect, I still have a question who that individual is who just walked out. But that being said, the only thing I'm questioning is his hearing. That's what I'm questioning. I don't care about anything else.
Good
I asked
morning.
him if it was in
So the ring of power has been found.
to that call Mr. Graham. He said no, it's not in the
Who is
document.
Saruman?
If he got it on
What's
video,
Saruman doing there?
it's not. It doesn't make the
I got no
video
clue.
relevant that he
Honestly,
just
this
said no. He didn't get it on video of him allegedly asking to call Mr. Graham. That
Yes,
doesn't
this is
make the
Drake's
video
lawyer.
relevant anymore. It's this exact same thing he just testified to. We heard what he said. He dropped it on the ground.
I'll tell you what, Colonel
He
Mustard,
testified to everything
which
that he
is
just said,
what I'm affectionately
that
calling
he put it in the envelope,
the
he dropped
dipshit
it
on the
ground,
left.
they kicked it down the
He's
street.
shot himself in the
There's
foot
nothing
so
that
many
he
times in this
testified
case,
to
but
that
this
I'm
is just
questioning
taking
in
the cake at this
in the
point.
video. The only thing I was questioning, which it makes the video non-relevant, is the fact that he didn't get the question of call Mr. Graham on video. So it's actually the opposite. I'm not making the video relevant whatsoever. I'm making it even more irrelevant because he didn't even get the portion where he allegedly said, not only is it not in his affidavit, but he didn't even get it on video of him allegedly saying, call Mr. Graham. I'm a process server, call Mr. Graham. He just said he didn't get it on video. So how am I making the video more relevant by him testifying that he didn't get the most relevant part on the video, which again is not that relevant because the service is bad anyways. But putting that all aside, there's no way I opened the door here. I actually opposite opened the door, is I shut the door even further when he testified that he didn't get on video asking them to call Mr. Graham. He admitted that. So now I even have more of an objection that now it's a selected amount of video that does or doesn't exist. He took some, didn't take some. Now I don't even think it's, besides it being objectionable because it's a two-party state, now I think it's further objectionable because now he just picked and chose what he put on video and what he didn't put on video. If there wasn't a conversation about him asking them to call Mr. Graham, that's even more objectionable. But I'm putting that aside. The argument's the exact same argument he made at the very beginning. The only thing different now is saying that I opened the door, which I didn't open the door.
He completely opened the door, told him to question everything about this gentleman, whether he's an effective process server, whether his hearing is good, every single thing. The video speaks for itself. He's mentioned it ad nauseum. That I believe at this point, he should be able to show it. We should be able to see it. And his argument about the two-party state and California is not relating to this. This is a process server serving an armed guard that's doing his job. There's no reasonable expectation of confidentiality pursuant to the California Penal Code that I just read to this court.
It's on private property.
To allow us to view the video.
And in addition to that, the California Code specifically says that you can still expect a certain level of privacy in a semi-public place,
Thank
let
you.
alone on private property.
Thank you, Mr. Baird. Thank you, Mr. Baird. You can log off.
Against the power of Mordor, there can be no victory.
Told me to log out.
Yeah, you can log out. You can log out.
I like how they're going, do you have problems hearing?
Hey, Mike,
Do you have problems hearing?
Great.
Oh.
So you should log out, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Who is
Thank
this
you,
guy?
Mr. Baird.
All right.
An 81-year-old process server from California.
Oh, Jesus, he's a process server. Great.
Yep.
They filed a...
There's no way in hell he was the one doing the process serving. And that's why he was so squirrely about the questions. It had to have been the
For starters,
30-year-old guy
I
with
was
a neck
pretty
beard
shocked
that
because
walked into the room behind him.
the way that they start the motion is that they say that if not quashed, then protective order should be granted, as now the individuals, investigator Curcio and cooperating witness both testified that non-party had nothing to do with it. So I'm really shocked that a criminal defense attorney in a motion is basically telling you, believe a detective, believe a cooperating witness, and don't allow me to take testimony from somebody. At the end of the day, what occurred here is very simple, Judge, because you were part of it. We came here on February 13th. The court vacated an order, and when the court vacated the order, the language from the court was clear. Cooperate with each other. It was a professional courtesy.
All this is going on because this dipshit is still trying to serve Drake and have him ordered into the court.
I'll even consider sealing it. We can figure out the topics in advance. What did they do? Okay. The next day, I went to go serve his office. I'm not accepting service. The next day, I spent I cost to my client to go over there and properly serve them, domesticated with a California attorney, and the armed staff not only refused to accept service, but threatened to call the police. So after you, in all professional courtesies, extended that and vacated
With his eyes
what
open.
did they do? They refused to accept service. Mr. Cohen filed a general notice of appearance, Judge. He didn't file a limited notice of appearance. And when he did that, he waived personal jurisdiction and he waived any defects in service. I have a case for the court, Watson v. Bianchi.
If you are improperly served, don't answer the complaint.
162 Southern 3rd.
Exactly.
2, which basically...
Finish your sentence, bro.
Which basically delineates that it's established Florida law that if you file a general notice of appearance, you're waiving personal jurisdiction. So that's what he did. He didn't file a limited notice of appearance. So then what does he do? Then he goes when Leah Volmick, the California attorney, reaches out and says, "Hey, are you going to accept service?" Because she doesn't want to approach the client because he's represented. He emails her back and says, "No, I already said I'm not going to accept service," and mentions attorney's fees in the email. So the next day, after you provided that professional courtesy, they're already threatening attorney's fees. Then what do? They filed multiple motions to quash, and one of the things that they did is they filed a motion to sanction me.
Nope.
Okay, they want you to
Nor would
sanction
you.
me.
I mean,
and when
really.
they did that, they asked this court for affirmative relief. And so by doing that, that's even more of a reason that Aubrey Drake Graham is now in this case. He doesn't have the luxury of asking a court for affirmative relief, and then I'm not going to accept service. It's basically what's happened here. Now they get into Judge. I don't want to interrupt, but it's my motion, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be arguing or he should just be arguing against. Because I have some things that I'd like to put on the record because it's my motion to quash. If that's what we're arguing, Judge, and I'm sorry, I want to stand up. If we're arguing my motion to quash, it's my motion. So I'd like to argue my motion, and then if there's counter to the argument, I think that it's fine. I mean, it's up to the court, obviously. He's on a roll. Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Okay, so Judge, so not only do they put in their motion to quash,
Judge, let me ask you a question. Judge, let me ask you a question.
Listen to the detective and listen to a cooperating witness and don't let me take the deposition. But then they get into the facts of that.
The one is hitting class that just isn't getting his own way.
I think it's clear that when the court vacated the prior order, it did so.
I got some hot breaking news after Colonel Mustard is done having a fit.
Awesome.
And Judge, just to give the historical background of how we got here, I filed a motion to perpetuate Mr. Graham's testimony. The court denied it, but the court at that time, and I know Mr. Cole wasn't involved at that time, so for his benefit, the court said, why don't you just take his depo and everybody be on notice that when you do so, give it the same scrutiny that you would, because if it's unavailable, we can read it at trial. So here we are, the case is ongoing, okay? Time is of the essence, and what they're doing now is they're trying to block any efforts that exist. Now, just to be clear that the reasons why his deposition is important historically is, for starters, Mr. Onfroy, prior to his death, put a post that says, if anybody kills me, it's Drake. Number one. Number two, in that same year, in a song called Upset, he put XXX SMS, I only shoot below the neck. Fast forward, on behalf of Drake. And then post-murder, he puts in lyrics, things like, you know, if he would have kept his mouth shut on IG Live, he'd still be alive, or Louis bags for body bags. It seems like he can't stop talking about this murder, but he doesn't want to get deposed. And it's clear that he doesn't want to be involved, he doesn't want to be deposed, but the legality of my client being able to defend himself and to investigate this case has never been an issue, Judge. And the court, and I understand why the court vacated the Royal Cross, because he hired Brad Cohen, arguably one of the best attorneys in the United States, and the court said,
you're not disagreeing with everything he says.
I almost want to just stipulate.
I was going to say
stipulate to that.
I was going to say Florida, but I'm going to give him the U.S. So he came in here. He's doing a fine job, Judge. But at no point was
I'm exceedingly annoyed that this guy didn't just stipulate to everything.
Anything but an indication of work together.
Drake's lawyer agreed to stipulate to the video, to the affidavit, to everything, and now they're arguing over it because this little turd has to get his extra 2 cents in.
It's not right, but I need to bring this to a court's attention because trial's ongoing. So I just wanted an opportunity to be heard and to let the court know what's going on. Did I drop a subpoena on him the day after he was here in court? Yeah, I did. Because
Dropped a subpoena on him. Great.
Filed a notice of appearance, and he legally cannot not accept service. That's clear.
That's a double negative.
Legally not.
Regardless,
Just for the record, that's
Not
a double
accept
negative.
service.
Am I ready? Thank you.
Good
That
job,
was a very
Judge.
passionate argument.
Thank you, sir.
Can you
The
repeat
judge
that,
managed to
please?
follow all of
And
it.
that's for the mess.
You did a great
Yeah, I
job.
missed it. Could you please repeat?
Let's start with the service of me, okay? And then I'll get into the cooperation part, and then we'll get into why it should be quashed. But let's talk about the service of me. The service of an attorney that files a notice of appearance, Mr. Padilla is mistaken. That's in a case where there's a party and I file a notice of appearance. The case that he gave you, that's a party. That's a writ of garnishment.
Napoleon's not putting up
If you
with
look
that
at the
shit.
Florida Rules of Judicial Administration 2.516. It specifically lays out, accept applications for witness subpoenas and documents served by formal notice or be required to serve in a manner provided by the service of formal notice. That's for an attorney. I was here on that Monday, the 13th, and I said in open court, I am not authorized to accept service on behalf of Mr. Graham. I notified everyone I'm not allowed to accept service. Now, even putting that aside for a moment, when they came to my office to serve, the California lawyer asked me if I'd accept service hours after it was already served. But they came to my office to serve. I was not in my office at the time. The subpoena itself is directed to me personally, not my law office, as part of whatever service they thought they could have.
Well, they done
To
fucked
me
up.
personally. The individual comes in, and Marlene Cohen, my mom, who's 82 years old, is at the front desk, and the guy says, "Hey, I got papers for Brad Cohen." She says, "Oh, okay." Leaves him at the front desk, and when I get back later on that afternoon, like 4 or 5 o'clock, I open it up. I see there's a service of processing. Why that's so important is, number one, is it's not effective, and the case law is not relevant for this. The Florida Rules of Judicial Administration 2.516 specifically outline that an attorney can't accept service without authorization for a witness subpoena. Now, putting all that aside, that Monday after the hearing, when we were before Your Honor, I called Mr. Padilla and I said, "Listen, I understand what the judge said. I still cannot accept service. But hearing what the judge said, give me a list of questions, okay? And let me see if I can fashion something where maybe these questions will resolve all of our issues and we can move forward." And Mr. Padilla essentially said, "Well, either you have to accept service or you can't. I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to put words in your mouth."
How are you doing it?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to that effect. And I said, "I don't have the authority to accept service." That was the end of that conversation. The next day, I get served.
Colonel
this
Mustard
subpoena,
has little man syndrome. Let's
and I
face
think
it.
it was around noon at my office. And I then get an email later on that day from a California attorney that says, "Will you accept service via email?" It was already served, but will you accept service via email of this subpoena?
Trying to kill the
And I wrote
service
back, and I
defects.
have the actual email here that I wrote back, that I said, "I am not authorized to accept service, nor is anyone authorized that I know of to accept service on behalf of Mr. Graham. Fast forward to the 18th, and now the order to show cause is filed prematurely before Mr. Graham is the deposition would even be set, and I write to Mr. Padilla in another email, and that's dated Saturday, February 18th of 2023, and I wrote, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, and I'll make this part of the record, Judge, but I want to read it. On Monday, I asked you for a list of questions as I could not agree to a date without a list. Need a list. I also could not accurately limit the questioning and the scope without a list of questions that were being proposed. I wasn't provided with anything, and I was left with the choice to accept service first, and then we will give you a list of questions. That obviously I could not do. Service was then attempted on my office after I said in open court that I could not accept service. I told everyone in open court I did not have the authority to accept service. I told your colleague in LA via an email that same day of bad service I could not accept service. In fact, I told her no one is authorized to accept service on behalf of Mr. Graham at this time. Knowing that, I still sent a process server to my office. As no one provided me questions, I will provide the suggested questions and scope. Again, at this time, it is not a waiver of any proper service or any type of agreement that proper service has been completed. I believe this is the most prudent thing going forward. Obviously, we're not agreeing to getting into anything further than these areas. I gave a list of 5 questions. 6 questions. Do you know these 4 individuals? Does anyone you know these 4 individuals? Have you ever had contact with these 4 individuals? Does anyone you know ever had contact with these 4 individuals? Do you know anything about the incident that took place on the 18th that was not public knowledge? Where were you on the date the incident took place?
6. Yeah.
I don't know what else we need. There have been several witnesses that have taken the stand that have said, and I'm not saying believe one witness over another. I'm saying the evidence before the court is this. Witnesses took the stand. One of them was a detective. One of them was I think a layman. I think it was 3 actually. A detective, a defendant,
He's not good at math.
Who I think identified the body. The detective says, Mr. Graham has nothing to do with this case, and I don't know any information other than rumor and innuendo on the internet that has anything to do with this case.
He likes it, innuendo.
The defendant, the cooperating witness, takes the stand and says, I know of Graham, but I know that he never paid me. He didn't pay anyone. I don't know him. I never spoke with him, and none of these guys ever did. And then the third witness takes a stand and says, I don't even know of any kind of rat beef is what and I don't know anything that's going on. So when we say like what we believe and what we don't believe from an individual, that's different than what's before the court, what's actually in evidence. It doesn't matter what I think is believable, not believable, or anything like that. I'm not the jury. The question is, what is before the court regarding Mr. Graham having anything to do with this whatsoever? And the answer is nothing. So far, there is nothing. The tweet that we're speaking of, 10 minutes later, it was someone broke into my Twitter. So that was innuendo. The songs that we speak of are all innuendo. There's not even, they haven't even put on any evidence that Mr. Graham was even in the state of Florida, made a phone call, talked to somebody, a text, an email. I mean, I'm getting into my motion for protective order, which I don't know if that's right yet.
Dude, take a fucking breath.
Motion to quash. But I went on in my email and I said, and I discussed this with Mr. Padilla. We all know Mr. Graham had nothing to do with this incident. And in fact,
Cop on trial for offing his wife. Cops don't kill innocent people, says every cop.
And there are photos, money's taken from the victims, their phones are on scene, they were caught eyeing the victim in Broward Motorsports, they were caught in a getaway car. I certainly do not want to limit a defense to any crime. I'm a defense attorney. I understand that you got to raise the issues that you need to raise. But I said, but if this is kind of funny. But if your client blamed John Wick, not suggesting you need to take Keanu Reeves' deposition, it would be more believable. There's nothing to put him even in the realm of reality in this case. If you agree to the above questions, now we get back to the questions. I will certainly see what I could do to avoid bad service situations like the ones most recently had. So, in terms of the cooperation, I can't say that I'm going to accept service, nor can I say anyone's going to accept service.
Can I just kill myself now?
Until I see what these questions are. But I don't even think we need to get there. I honestly...
I'm just glad this is the last day I'm covering this live.
The court wants to give this defendant as much defense as,
So,
as they should have. And
Keanu Reeves is
everyone's
taking the stand
entitled to
too?
a good defense. Everybody is entitled to it. I'm a defense attorney.
No, I
so
kind of
argue
wish that they hadn't
all the
brought that up.
But at the same token, it needs to be based in some sort of
Keanu Reeves come and slap him in the head. Keep your
reality,
name out my
some
fucking
kind of
mouth.
information, more than innuendo, more than a tweet. Something to say, hey, this guy has something to do with it. Because you know what? Witnesses have rights too. And here, this is an individual that is now besmirched by these accusations. There's blogs, there's people that are emailing me, questioning things. And where are his rights at this point? Where I have nothing to do with the case. And I know Mr. Padilla is ready to chomp at the bit to say he made a rap about it. Great. He made a rap about it. That doesn't subject you to getting cross-examined on the stand or cross-examined in the deposition on something that there is not a shred of evidence, not a shred of proof that you had anything to do with this case. So I know I'm arguing my motion for protective order. My motion to quash is, I mean, I can argue that as well. I'm not sure if you want me to address that, but the service on me is no.
I can see there's an
argument.
Yeah, I can see there's a few people that have toddled in since this all started. For anyone that doesn't know, Baldy here on the right is Drake's lawyer. Because Colonel Mustard is once again trying to drag him into this and use him as reasonable doubt. At this point, we've also been arguing over whether or not John Wick was involved. So, there's that. We also had Methuselah providing testimony as to whether or not he properly served Drake. Is this guy a defense attorney?
He's an attorney.
Yeah, he's an attorney. Yeah, Drake's defense attorney, apparently. I don't know if this would be the guy that would defend Drake criminally, but definitely fighting fighting witness subpoenas and that sort of thing. This guy knows what he's talking about, unfortunately, which is why he's been rambling on and why, yeah, there's been like 18 arguments against why this should be even allowed. The really, really annoying thing about this, Drake's lawyer was willing to stipulate to everything that was in that affidavit, but because fucking Colonel Mustard wanted the videos and wanted everything else and his extra like pound of flesh, we've had to go through this whole thing. We didn't even have to listen to Methuselah talk. But anyway.
Good. Just to give you a nutshell, the service on me is no good. The service on Mr. Graham, or the attempted service on Mr. Graham, is no good. And I'll tell you several reasons. Number one, right off the bat, they don't even have an affidavit that says they know this is Mr. Graham's house and how they know this is Mr. Graham's house. Number two is the actual service, the drop serve that he dropped. I submitted with my motion the picture of and the testimony from this guy. I'm glad that he actually testified because he testified he dropped it in a sealed envelope. Pursuant to California law, you can't drop a document in a sealed envelope. If you're going to drop serve, it has to be dropped in its entirety so that the individual can see what you dropped before them. That is a very clear California law. Now, what's even worse than that is he said, well, I'm allowed to serve a security guard. No, you're not allowed to serve a security guard. You are allowed to serve a security guard in a gated community, which this is not, which the testimony was very clear from this individual, or a multifamily house, which he did not testify this was a multifamily house. In fact, quite the opposite. He testified this was one big, gigantic house with a sealed gate. The attempted service on Mr. Graham fails for several reasons. And I'll tell you something, Judge. This is an individual who not only the day after this alleged service took place, he was in Rodeo Drive having lunch. There are ways to properly serve this individual. It's just they ignore it. They want to do substitute service because that's the easiest, but it's not. He's been in Florida. He's been in California. He's been in Texas, and not to mention, by the way, he has a Canadian passport. They have so many problems with this service. It's like I could go down the list of issues that they have with this service.
Oh,
But I
don't
think the
stop
beginning
now.
part of it is they're hiring process servers that I don't think understand the process. And Mr. Baird seems to
Yeah,
be a very
I think
nice,
that guy's
nice man.
past his use by date in terms
The
of process
problem
serving.
is what he's saying is incorrect. That is not California law. You can't serve a security guard unless it's a gated community, multifamily house. Additionally, you can't serve someone with a document that's in the envelope. It has to be outside of the envelope. And I put that all in my motion. What they really need is they need like Seth Rogen from Pineapple Express to go deliver a package and say, you're served. It's not that hard. I have served ex-presidents of countries. I've served individuals that are nationally and internationally known.
No, that's just it,
I've
Reagan. He
served
wasn't served. That's the
ex-politicians
thing.
and current politicians. And I've always personally served them because I know the service laws. And my process servers know the service laws. And they find them and they serve them. So if we're talking about the motion to quash, I think it's very obvious that it was not good service. But putting that aside, I don't even think we should have another attempt at service. We're living in la-la land here. There is nothing to attach Mr. Graham to this other than blogs, emails to one guy to another saying that
Nothing
I
other than
think this
blogs
is what's going
and
on,
emails.
a tweet that came out and then instantly was taken back. I understand it, Judge, and I understand the trepidation of the court not to allow a defense for someone that listen. We can all be very honest with each other. We don't want a case coming back.
How did you forget about that?
Case coming back on appeal. And I think that in order to do that, you want to afford the defense as much leeway as possible. But there is a limit. The law has a limit on it. And we are a country of laws. That's why we have to adhere to them. And if we don't adhere to those laws, then why are they there? This individual has nothing to do with this case. Everybody that is involved in this case knows that he has nothing.
Unfortunately, Sinji, yes, this is still a triple
and
X
sitting
case.
here talking about taking the deposition of an individual who shouldn't be involved in this case whatsoever. Now, that is my argument to just get him out completely. But this service, whatever was going on, this has to be quashed. This was not good service. They can attempt personal service, and California law actually specifically states you need to attempt personal service at least 2 times. They say 2 or 3 times before you can try substitute service. These guys just keep trying to serve process server, try to serve security guards. And security guards are not allowed to accept legal documents. For all my clients, I don't know a security guard that works for any of my clients that is given instruction, if someone comes to serve somebody, you should accept service. Not one. And that is because they cannot accept legal service. Because we don't know what it is. We don't know what they're asking for. This guy could have proposed anything. He could have said it's for a deposition. He could have said it's for a lawsuit. It doesn't matter. We're not allowed, the security guards are not allowed to accept service on behalf of anyone. So for those reasons, Judge, number one is, I think the process of service, it's not even a close call. I think the process of service has at least 5 to 6 things why it fails. Not to mention that the
It's already 3 o'clock. If they keep going for another half hour, I'm half expecting the court to just go, nope,
but I think
we're done for the week.
At this point, now
This guy
looking
could
at
go
the
for 3 more weeks.
that has been given to Your Honor on a detective, a layman, and a cooperating witness, that
Walk into
everyone
a bar.
says Mr. Graham has nothing to do with this. I think at this
With the
point,
judge who
we have
needs a
enough
drink
to
so
say,
badly.
Enough is enough. You can make the argument all you want, but there's no reason to have Mr. Graham on a deposition or force him into court to give any kind of testimony.
Forced intercourse? What?
Judge, you know what? We've heard a lot of Brad because I say. You know what you didn't hear? You didn't hear his California process server or his expert come in here or a California, an affidavit from his California attorney, because the only person that's filed one from a California attorney is me. He just keeps saying and repeating California law, and that's inappropriate. He would have had to have somebody come in here.
Nope. The state is not resting.
The appropriate person to educate this court.
This is an interrogatory.
Now, I really think
Well,
that
speaking of rest, that was the most riveting 30 minutes of my life.
audacity.
Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate that.
It's only 5 o'clock. It's time to time to take a little bit of a nap because at 5 hours from now, Aussie Overlaw'd will be on my stream to announce a big announcement.
This is
We'll
true.
talk about other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Don't want to miss it. 5 hours from now, be over on my channel so we can do something fun and exciting and riveting.
And
And
lucrative.
for all you ladies out there, bring a mop and a bucket. You're gonna need it.
I might need a shave. But yes, thank you so much for dropping by, Jeff. And yes, everybody, 5 hours from now, we have a deadline, and I have a dog looking at me through a window,
5 hours.
and counting.
Yep. And I'll be asleep for 4 hours and 58 minutes of that. So make sure you're there because there's a big announcement to be made, and we're going to be talking about some other stuff. Mighty Meat, have a good night.
Have a good night, Jeff.
Adios.
Well, I guess
Good to
it's
see you,
morning
buddy.
for you. It's like it's almost morning for Hayden again, but a different one. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the sun's already up. It's 7 a.m. So, cheers. Thanks for dropping by, and yeah, I'll see you soon.
Enjoy whatever this is.
Absolutely.
Even the judge just like wants to kill
Oh,
himself.
the judge is so done. The judge is so done.
I think he's done with this case.
He already ruled on this.
It was the 24th. It's Drake Day. I forgot. It was supposed to be Drake Day today. That's why they're doing all this. Okay, I got it.
That makes a certain amount of sense, I suppose.
All right. Well, we'll see you in a few hours.
So yeah, cheers, Jeff.
Take care.
Bye.
Yes, that is very true, people. 12 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. I have yet to work out what the conversion is for you guys. 8 p.m. I assume Eastern, roughly.
It'll be 8. If it's 5 hours from now, it'll be 8 p.m.
Yep, there you go. So, as it turns out, lawyers can do math, especially when they're sleep deprived. Yes, big announcement coming up, and I'll be there for about an hour or so. So, yeah, make sure you tune in. I will be putting a link up on my YouTube page, the Twitter, and the locals. So, and I'm going to take this opportunity, given that we're at a natural-ish break, to say if you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe. Like the stream. Need to get those likes up. But, yeah, make sure you're subbed, because shit's about to get interesting. At least more interesting than a... I'm going to call him a midget in a blue suit that's about to go off. So, let's see where this goes, shall we?
To come in here, no matter how rich Mr. Graham is, to come in here and argue that his attorney is trying to negotiate the exact questions that are going to be asked of him in a deposition, or I'm not accepting service, because Your Honor was clear. Your Honor said, this is when you were being nice and extending professional courtesies. We can talk about the topics. No one's going to tell Mr. Padilla questions to ask. It doesn't make sense to make me go and take a deposition and specifically ask the questions. Now, it speaks volumes about what they're trying to avoid and what they're trying to do. I wasn't even going to bring up the email because it was, I thought, settlement negotiations between us. I'm glad he did, so the court could see how involved Mr. Cohen is and still not accepting service. So I believe that speaks volumes. I understand Mr. Barrett is 81 years old. You know what? I'm glad that at 81 he can still work, just like Mr. Cohen's mom is 82. I'm glad. I think he did an appropriate job. The video speaks for itself, Judge. You've seen it. They obviously don't want me to get. They keep saying in this case, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. A deposition is my opportunity to get evidence, and they're trying to prevent it. Now, Judge, just really quick regarding Curcio, what did Curcio say? Curcio said that Mr. Graham was so important that back in 2018 that they did an investigation to try and find out whether or not he was in South Florida. So we've heard testimony that he was at least important enough to try and figure out whether or not he was in South Florida June 18th of 2018. And if that's the case, and if law enforcement is going that far to make that investigation, then that's more than enough, besides everything else that I've discussed, to allow me to take the deposition. What you also heard from him was when I asked him, isn't it true that the first time that the name Migos came in this case was out of your own mouth? And I had to show him witness a month after the murder where he had to admit that, yeah, that the name Migos came up a month after. And that wasn't from my mouth. That was from his own mouth and from the cooperating
way too
witness,
excited
Mr.
about
Allen,
this
in July of
to
2018.
be effective.
So I think that I've shown that there's enough, and Judge, it's never been a question. It was never a question. It was, yeah, take a step on it. Of course, there's enough there. Let's figure this out. They don't want me to take the devil. They don't want me to get evidence. And the gamemanship is crazy what's happening here, Judge.
All right, let me address a couple of things first. With respect to the detective service of Mr. Cohen, Mr. Cohen indicated he was not here to take service. The rules of administration do not allow discovery justice subpoenas to be served on an attorney who has not agreed to take it for them or is not specifically authorized by the client. The case that you provided, Watson versus Stewart, even in there, it indicates that Overlaw'd has well established that service of process and any defect in service can be waived by a general appearance. However, active participation in proceedings, especially without objective jurisdiction due to lack of service, constitutes a submission. All of his pleadings are attacking the service and saying, "No, we're not subjecting ourselves," and refers to a non-party. So the case that you cite is actually contrary to the position that is appearing here to fight the process is somehow submission to the process. Secondly, I don't find that the drop service in front of a security guard at a residence, which
Look, more than you'd think, but not as much as some professions.
counsel reports belongs to Mr. Graham, but again, I don't have that evidence. It is correct that he is a Canadian citizen. He owns property here. I don't know that that's his residence. I don't know that that's a place that he ordinarily sleeps at. I don't know these things. In order to be sufficient to come in and then ask for a rule to show cause or writ of bodily attachment, it's just not. I made my rules. So, secondly, when we come down to this issue of whether there should be a protective order, how far this will go, the court has done what it can to try and afford the defendant his rights. Both the Sixth Amendment, the United States Constitution, as well as the Florida Constitution.
Even now, look at the difference in postures.
Compulsory process. And in light of that is why I said, well, take a deposition, do something, show me something, how this witness that you've listed is somehow relevant to this case. And there's plenty of case law that says, the right to compulsory process is meaningless unless it's backed up with judicial action, writ of attachment. And that, the defendant has a right to put on their case, their theory of the case. However, again, Mr. Cohen brings up that the right is not unfettered. You can't just harass people who are not involved in a case. And let me cite to Hoskins versus Boatwright. It is a federal case out of the Fifth Circuit from 1971 at 440 Second 69. And I'm quoting in pertinent part, the right of compulsory process is not absolute. And the state may require that a defendant requesting such a process establish some colorable need for the person to be summoned, lest the right be abused by those who would make frivolous requests. And it also cites back to Washington versus Texas, a 1967 case discusses that there is certainly a right to alter the process and a right to call witnesses for your defense, and this is basic to our system of justice, but it's not unfettered, and there comes a point where it can become abusive. Ashley versus Wainwright are cases out of the state of Florida. Got kind of a history. There's Ashley versus State at 433 Southern 2nd, 1263, a first DCA case in 1983. It was further than appealed. Ashley versus State, 479 Southern 2nd, 837 in 1985, same case. And ultimately made it into the federal system under Ashley versus Wainwright, 639 Federal 2nd, 258. And again, in that case, quoting the court's already expressed, the right to compulsory process is not absolute. And the person making the request can be required to establish a callable need for the person to be summoned, lest the right be abused by those who would make frivolous requests. And it again goes back to the Washington versus Texas case, where in that case the U.S. Supreme Court reversed the conviction, saying in that case the state had arbitrarily denied the petitioner the right to call a witness who was physically and mentally capable of testifying to events that they had personally observed and whose testimony would have been relevant and material to the defense. So I'm asking you, counsel.
It's funny that the judge was already well prepared for this, to the point where he already had case law up.
Tweet made by, or Instagram post, or some other post made by another person, not by a person who's not Mr. Green. And later that
he had already decided before he even heard anything.
Well, I mean, he already ruled on this on the 13th or the 14th of February, and now he's coming back with it. So all this sort of shit was already decided.
Whatever, saying that I didn't post that. That was a hack. Okay. So those are the only two things that we have out there.
I'm sorry, what? Eva Torres got banned.
Then
she shouldn't have. Who did that?
That the court is not going to sustain any further. We're getting outside the realm of.
Holy shit! Was that a mod or? Hang on, let me check backstage. In general, I do not ban people on my channels. People, we know this.
It's like a Chewbacca.
Except, Judge, that I've already put in writing when the court ordered me to do so, the nexus between my witnesses in this case, that Antonio King.
I mean, she mentioned that she was getting banned off a bunch of other channels, so unless maybe it's just YouTube.
And did in fact post video of himself threatening to be armed and threatening the decedent
My community
prior to his
page.
death. He further, I know, but I'm letting
Counsel, then subpoena 600 Breezy, what does that have to do with someone else?
I'll tell you.
Who have no evidence of being involved other than hearsay and innuendo. You are now trying to just drag somebody in who's a celebrity who does not want to be associated with this, and the harm to that individual is not inconsequential.
I'll tell you why. Because that person, Antonio King, then further posted that the reason that he came down here was for Drake. So I'm not making this up. This is out there. But I'm not being allowed to investigate it. All I want to do is take his deposition.
You've had this case since 2018. Go talk to Breezy.
He's on my witness list. I don't know where he is. But Judge, listen.
But that's a different hearing. The hearing here is whether or not there are sufficient grounds for this court to order somebody who I have no evidence, and counsel's questions saying, are you aware of, is not evidence. We're all aware that your questions are not evidence. So the detective who investigated
Yeah, no. If something's happened with Ava, it's a YouTube problem. She's not. There's nothing in the back on the back end. I don't ban people. I just don't. I think in my whole career on YouTube, I banned 3 people, and it was because they were trolling with religious bullshit and making people feel uncomfortable.
Screenshot of that said, yeah, you know.
And one of those I banned, so you know it was bad.
He disavowed that as being hacked. Was he hacked that time? I don't know. His account's been hacked.
Oh, and sorry, there were a whole bunch of bots there as well.
This is beyond.
Sex bots aren't people.
Something that can be
Yeah, which is why I don't feel bad.
This is beyond hearsay. This is just gossip, rumor, and innuendo, and really doesn't have any place in a court of law.
In any other scenario,
Group chat permabander.
Aubrey Drake
Interesting.
and it were anybody else, and it comes out that before he died, he said, if I die, it's so-and-so, I get to ask you at least, Mr. Graham, do you know Robert Allen? Do you know any of the other co-defendants? Have you ever communicated with them? These are questions that are normal in any scenario. However, and listen, Judge, it's not my fault that the decedent was a rap star, and the person I wanted to depose is a rap star. It's the Home Depot, like I said, if a decedent worked at Home Depot, I'm probably going to have some people from Home Depot on my witness list. This is no different. The issue is that the people at Home Depot can't hire Brad Cohen. And Brad Cohen came in here, and all of a sudden, now I'm not even able to exercise my client's right to investigate this case. All I wanted to do was to take his deposition. There's been more than enough from the detectives, and frankly, Judge, that relative, that's a lie. Because everybody, 50% of the population knew about the issues.
Cheetah, if you wouldn't mind, just tell her to pop over on Rumble or even local. If she can send me an email on Twitter or something, I'll give her a free membership on local so she can chat.
Your opinion, counsel, is not.
Because that's bullshit. I don't approve of that or appreciate it.
Again, I'm mindful of your client's right to present the defense, and I have gone as far as I think I can to allow.
I know that there's a thing where you can check whether or not you shadow ban on Twitter. I don't know if there's the same thing for YouTube. She probably just needs to Google it.
Harassment of someone.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen it on YouTube.
Sort of straw man, look over here where there's no evidence of that. In fact, even you're suggesting that if your questions are, do you know my client? Have you talked to any of these people? That does not absolve them of the charges before them. That's not a defense. At best, that would be adding a unindicted co-conspirator, if you will. But that's not a defense to the individuals that are here. And
Thanks, Robert.
Judge, that was just a sample of a question that could lead to another question. It's a question that should be asked of someone. And if it weren't Graham, I would be asking. I would be able to be asking.
No, it wouldn't. Because if it were a guy at Home Depot who came in and said, Judge, I don't know why I'm being dragged in here. I have nothing to do with this. I don't know these individuals. I didn't kill anyone. I don't know anything what you're talking about. They would be entitled to the same relief. It does not matter. And additionally, so your motion's granted.
Thank you.
Your motion's denied. And lastly, I just know Mr. Hope's not here since he already one of his things. Keep in mind that I just want to supplement with respect.
Well,
to
let her know that well, we're obviously going to miss her at least until she's unshadow banned anyway.
your request for his client, Linwood Walker, same kind of thing. And for that, I will cite to Sewell, S-U-L-E versus Stick. That is a 4th PCA case at 968 Southern 2nd 99, which in that case, pertinent part, the court indicates that the defendant argued that the trial court used discretion and violated his constitutional rights when it
AP, I can't see her, so I can't mod her. So I don't know. Mind you, I've got to go through and I've got to cull some of the mods on here. Some people have changed their names and I have no idea who they are. But at least they're names that I haven't seen in chat recently, so I don't really care if I remove them from the mods.
Oh no, here I go. I'm gonna be gone as a mod.
Have you changed your name recently?
Just my gender, so it should be good.
Oh well, in that case, yeah, you're definitely losing the wrench then.
In an analogous situation to this case, we have held that a trial court does not abuse its discretion in excluding witnesses who, through the invocation of this privilege, would imply that
Being modded gives you a certain level of STD protection from Mighty. Not entirely, but it does help.
use them and then have them say,
It's like a
"I've got my
condom.
own troubles and I'm pleading the fifth."
Yeah, it's not always 100% effective.
So I cite that case as the solution.
Don't worry, Stingy, I wasn't going to. You have enough power as it is here.
There's nothing before this court that's actual evidence that would suggest that he's involved.
I haven't appointed one, Susie. I don't trust anyone having that kind of power.
Innuendo and unsubstantiated tweets that the repudiation.
I did see that there was super mod.
Yeah, there's like a chief moderator or whatever it is. I don't like the thought of anyone being able to overrule other mods. That's my job.
Substantial or competent evidence.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, before you go, if I could ask the court, Pascal on behalf of the state, because I've been watching the hearings and proceedings, I'd like to renew my motion to strike these witnesses, because I know that Your Honor has previously said that it wasn't right because you allowed Mr. Padilla the chance to have a defense. Listening to the court's the testimony today and the lengthy ruling that the court has given, I believe that it would be right at this time. I'm asking for these witnesses to be stricken in the murder trial because of the testimony that has been
Which
given
witness
today.
is specific?
Mr. Graham,
I will grant the state's motion to strike.
okay, and I'm asking with respect to that there be no further argument as to that, as a motion in limine, that there be no further argument referring to Mr. Graham or any of Mr. Graham's associates. I'm also asking for there were 30 witnesses, I think, that were part of that 57 list, none of which is there any evidence based on the court's precedent for the ruling today. And so those witnesses from that list is what I'm asking to be
I'm
stricken.
not going to strike them at this
Yeah,
time.
look, there's probably only one person that I'd give Supermod to, and I've seen their tits, so...
Oh
And
my
she's
god,
never on
you give
YouTube.
it to me?
Which is the same reason why we got.
I knew you were giving me super mod.
I know you just said that you were changing your gender, but I did... You haven't finished, and I did say she.
I know what's been presented.
She is never on YouTube.
The
Hell, she is never on my channel. Because she gets enough of me during the day.
And I don't know if it was a tweet or an Instagram post that was later repudiated, neither one of which can be authenticated by the supposed author.
I'd probably trust Gene with it as well.
Based on that,
As well as
I
Rabbit,
have
but,
no ruling with respect to Mr. Graham.
Okay.
I don't like the idea.
What he
Wait,
has
Rabbit
She
gave-
must be obeyed. Exactly.
Rabbit showed you your tits?
action on it at-
God, no. Neither's Gene. Let's just clarify that before you start any rumors or anything.
With respect to Mr. Graham, Your Honor has stricken.
Well, you said she, and then the first person you said is I would give it to Rabbit. That's confused.
Well, no, because Tweety said that Rabbit's the only mod she trusts with that power.
Which is
Oh,
further
okay.
argument and further mention regarding that to be stricken as well, or to be prohibited. Because I asked for that as a motion in limine.
She's opened the door. She's the one that asked in her direct a bunch of questions about.
I'm not going to.
You know
I'm not
what?
going to tell the
Actually,
defense
Judge-
whether I think that's a good strategy or a bad strategy, but I'm not going to preclude them from making arguments based
Yeah, Val,
on
you and I need to talk.
what's here, not on, there is no evidence before this court or this jury of any Instagram posts. They're not in evidence. They should not be argued as if they're in evidence.
Judge, I actually, you know what? I'll withdraw my last request. If Mr. Padilla wants to go down that road after it's already been stricken and argue about testimony and evidence that's not in this case, I actually think the state would probably prefer that. That might be. So, okay.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We are in recess.
What did I miss? What are you laughing at? I'm too busy reading chat.
He said something, and I don't know what it was, but she was like, yeah, if he wants to do that, we'd appreciate that. And then just her smug ass look when she walked off. So I take it was good for her, and he was just trying to be an ass.
Actually, I haven't seen Beaver's unit in a while. That may be my fault, though. I think there were a couple of streams there where I accidentally doxed conversations between us because I opened up my Twitter messages while I was half asleep.
Now wait, are they done for the day, or are they,
Oh, I think they're doing a sidebar. Oh wait, hang on,
Gotcha.
I'm behind. I can just skip ahead. What am I doing?
Yeah.
The screen's gone to black. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay, well, we might as well look at the wall for as long as we can before it goes to black.
Oh. No, go to black.
This is true.
I have news.
Oh, yes, sorry, we do have news. We have news. Alright, I'll skip ahead. Alright, so that's live. So we shall start with... Oh, hang on, I want to bring that up in a private tab because I don't want to be showing all my shit. What am I doing?
I can just show it. I got it up if you want.
Well, because I grabbed a couple other news articles as well.
Oh, shit. Go for it, then.
I mean, mind you, one of them refers back to this tweet, but, where are we? Private window. Okay, so people, apparently, breaking news is that there is an unknown white dust / particles falling out of the sky in West Virginia. Multiple people across West Virginia into the Maryland area are reporting an unknown white dust film descending from the sky. Some local fire departments are advising people to shut their doors and windows and avoid outdoors until it can be identified.
I mean, that's weird. That doesn't look right.
No. It doesn't look like snow.
No, not at all. Not even close.
No, it's some sort of chemical dust or something.
Yeah. So I wonder if it's either from Ohio or
Something else. Digger says that would be the salt that precedes acid rain. Oh shit. That's not what I meant to. Ava's back. Ava Taurus was shadow banned. Hey Ava. Take me home, country roads where the police I belong. Dear West Virginia, Colorado says that's snow. Yeah, no, I'm not willing to believe that that's snow.
That's not snow.
If you look at it, it's got a brown tinge to it, and it doesn't look wet.
No, it's not at all wet. It looks like powder residue.
Yeah, look, if anything, for God's sakes, don't touch that, dude. What I'd be thinking is that maybe there's an... Hello, Angel. Squirrel! That, to me, looks like... That's what you expect to see from pre-volcanic activity. Like, that's...
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Or is this West Virginia heading into Maryland? Oh, hang on, I should bring up the actual news article, shouldn't I? Instead of being an idiot and just showing that over and over again.
Do you want me to lick it? Like, I'll be driving through there in, like, 15 hours? 14 hours?
Please don't. We don't need you growing a second head. Two's enough. Unknown dust-like substance reportedly accumulating throughout the tri-state area. A statement released late Thursday night by the Hampshire County 911 Centre addresses reports of an unknown substance in the air that is said to be accumulating on cars and other surfaces. In the statement, which was also shared by the Hampshire County's Sheriff's Office, they acknowledged reports of a mysterious substance having been observed throughout several states. We are aware of the report of a recent unknown dust-like substance accumulating on cars and surfaces outside. This is reportedly occurring across the tri-state region. The Hampshire County 911 Centre additionally encouraged those planning to contact emergency services regarding the substance to utilise the centre's non-emergency line, so everyone's calling up to report it, because they're freaking the fuck out.
Right.
Which is fair, yes. If you're in the area, that is good advice. Duct tape all the doors and windows closed sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. It does look a little bit like Silent Hill, I'm not going to lie. East Palestine's close to West Virginia.
Sort of.
Maybe it's travelled in the yet the government will claim fog. Yeah, good luck with them on that. God has scratched his dandruffy balls. Nice, Stingy. Had similar stuff during a forest fire. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like. It looks like ash. But I mean, if that's falling, that could easily be from what... I mean, how many chemical reactions that could occur in clouds that would drop that kind of ash, do you think?
Certain one from East Palestine?
That's what I was thinking.
You want me to show the map?
Might as well. I'll just finish this. Where am I? We're aware that some social media sites have been advising you to contact 911 if you witness a situation. Although you are more than welcome to contact your 911 centre, we ask you to use the non-emergency number for this. 304-822-6000. Be prepared to give your name, address, and contact information so that we can log the information for environmental agencies if needed. Those in the affected areas were advised in accordance with the emergency management protocol to remain indoors while restricting airflow inside the residence. Yes, but for God's sakes, don't restrict all airflow. Otherwise, after what? 48 hours you could suffocate? Some shit like that? I don't know what the math is on that.
It's okay. Just grab yourself a garbage bag and
wrap it around your head tightly?
Yeah.
Do not do that. That is in no way a legitimate comment.
You kept it going. I stopped before it got ridiculous.
Well, I was going to keep going until it got ridiculous so that people would know that it was a joke. Those in the areas affected by the substance were advised... callers awaiting the arrival of emergency services with specific regard to the substance could be waiting for some time. However, as it was disclosed that sightings of the substance alone would not elicit an emergency response. If you're experiencing this heavy dust substance at your residence per the Office of Emergency Management, remain inside and turn off any devices that introduce outside air into your residence. Responders will not be responding for sightings of the substance unless there is a medical emergency or another type of emergency is present. No indication has been given at the time of writing with regards to the nature or the effect of the unknown substance. Well, shit. You were expecting them to actually advise what they thought it was? Alright, so what's this, the map?
Yeah, so I just wanted to show... So you can see my mouse, right?
Yes.
This is East Palestine, Ohio, in this general vicinity. This is West Virginia. But I assume they're talking about this tri-state, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland area. So I could see how...
Are you able to zoom in and see where the Hampshire County is?
Yeah. Well, it's not going to show counties on the map, but...
Oh, actually, okay. So that was stupid of me. Hang on. Let's see if I can work out what a central town in Hampshire County is. Northampton?
Northampton. Here, I can just look it up.
It's east of Pittsfield. Or just north of Springfield.
Massachusetts or Pennsylvania, I mean?
Oh, actually, what am I doing? Yeah, this has said Massachusetts. Is that... That's not in the tri-state area, is it?
No.
See, this is what happens when you name various cities the same damn thing in different states.
What is it again? Oh,
well, it said North Hampshire County.
We could do... What's happening in Pennsylvania? And
West
see if
Virginia
that's close.
and Maryland.
No, that's not even close. It would make sense that it was somewhere in this area right here.
Interesting. Oh, that's Princeton. Huh. Never actually knew where that was. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's... hang on, if I do directions from East Palestine, that'll give me an actual... Okay, so from East Palestine to the center of West Virginia is 250 miles. That would not surprise me in the slightest if that was directly linked, because then you've got all that shit in the air. That's not a big distance for that to travel.
Right. So you're talking from right here, and then right in this area.
Hang on, I'll share this one because it's got the actual... I've like done directions so that it shows an actual line on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So there. Up here is where the train crash was. Down here is roughly where they're estimating that the ash is. And it's 4 hours by car, but it's 250 miles.
Do like Cumberland, Maryland. That would be more. That'd be more accurate to the area. There you go. So that's more.
That's even less.
To
It's
the
150
area.
miles. That's nothing.
That would be that tri-state area, because West Virginia is right there at that. See how that line comes up and points?
Yep.
So that's West Virginia.
It's safe to breathe.
This is Maryland, and this is Pennsylvania. So that would be that tri-state area.
Okay.
And with the weather, well, the weather's been going northeast, but...
Wildfire shit that resembles the grey stuff was falling all around a local forest wildfire. Yeah, no, I completely get that. I'm looking at this, and some of the dust particles are just too small, in my opinion, to be ash.
Well, there's nothing burning other than a specific train in East Palestine, Ohio. So,
like some of the, hang on, I'll put this back up. Some of this footage, specifically the red vehicle. Well, not that one, but the other one that comes up. I'll pause it in a second when it gets there. One of these is very, very similar to what you would expect to see. This one. So this one is very similar to what you would expect to see in the middle of the outback after a rainstorm. Because it picks up all the dust in the surrounding area. If there's a dust storm or anything like that, and then you get rain, it comes down with the rain and it lands on the cars and you wind up with that pattern. I mean, you also get that pattern if your car is just dirty and dusty to begin with when it rains. But it's very bloody similar to what I've seen in various parts of Australia. So... which makes sense if we were in a dome in Ohio.
Exactly. Right.
Just quickly running through the chat because I just realised how far behind I was getting. Oh yes, this channel does not give any legal, medical or financial advice. This channel is for educational and entertainment purposes, and half the time it doesn't even do those.
Yeah, there's not much entertainment here.
Maybe this is the aliens, we just don't understand their form. That's a terrifying thought, Excoma. Had massive fire extinguishing stuff being dumped from C-130s to extinguish 2 wildfires. Ouch. Hampton County, Pennsylvania. It could well be. I think that map makes a fair argument for it, though. I mean, if that's the tri-state area there, then that would make sense. So
yeah, because you have Pennsylvania, and then you have the little slice of Maryland, and then West Virginia is to the south. So
yeah. Wait. There's a town called Accident? Are you serious?
oh, there's so many great town names. There's an Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Hey, look, you've got your own Latrobe. Look at that. Huh.
Is Latrobe a thing in your area?
Latrobe was a very important person here. He's got a university named after him. He's got multiple streets, towns.
Huh.
Has anyone looked at the wind maps? That's a damn good question, actually.
I thought they were going northeast, but...
Well, I mean, to be fair, we'd need to be looking at the wind maps from, what, 3 or 4 days ago? Or up to a week. When was it? When did they burn it?
Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, that's exactly what direction the fucking wind's going. I mean, frickin' wind's going. Exactly what direction. Like...
Oh, there you go.
1,000,000% the correct direction.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to share that or not because it was showing you tabs.
Oh, am I still sharing? Yeah, you can share. You can share the... Oh, now there's a fucking ad. There we go. I'm gonna bring it back up full screen. So if you're looking at wind directions, we're going right there.
Exactly the right direction.
So...
Well, there you go.
Almost perfect to a T, actually.
People are talking about this too much. Better release another balloon.
Or 2 or 3 of them. Yep.
AccuWeather says the likely dust blown over from another part of the country. Well, yeah. From that map.
Right. It's likely dust blown over from Palestine, Ohio.
Take samples for the lawsuit. See, the funny thing is, we might be just being alarmist here, but that doesn't look like normal dust just falling to me. Like that's...
No, it doesn't. No. And this lines up. I mean, because right here.
Where's Colorado from there? That's a good question, actually. Hang on.
Colorado is way out here. This is Colorado.
Yeah, and all that, and you can see that there's wind lines that are pushing it up to the north as you're leaving Colorado and heading east. So it'd need to be making. Well, it'd need to make a hell of a. I mean, I kind of feel like we would be seeing it all through those other states, though. Not to mention up into Toronto and Canada.
Well, at least when you get into Ontario, this is Ontario, Canada. So. You would think. But yeah, Colorado's way. It's Denver, Pueblo.
Am I safe from the chemicals in the dome? I presume so, unless they've got the air vents open, in which case I'm fucked.
Right. So you're fucked.
West Virginia is such a stupid shape. Guys, have you looked at a map of America and how the states are all distributed? Like, I'm sorry, but some of those states are very weirdly shaped.
West Virginia is probably the worst, though. That's the outline of West Virginia. It goes over here. And this is Maryland. Maryland cuts in this little teeny chunk.
Oh, as if they were ever going to say that, though, Tweety. They're never going to admit it. Even if they test it and it turns out that it's the same like byproducts from the train, there is no way in hell anyone is ever going to flat out come out and say that, because that's a massive admission of liability.
On to the next story.
Yeah, sure. Have you got more?
Yeah, I got the other train crash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it.
All right, so breaking, a train route derailed in Washington, killing 3 people, injuring 62, and causing $40 million in damage. Who cares? Biden and Buttigieg will not be going. Oh. Sorry. God damn it. I didn't read the whole
Now that I got your attention, this happened in 2017.
Well.
Someone got rickrolled.
Yep.
One hell of a bait and switch. It's really fucked up. They're just assholes making us run around.
It was trending too. What a dick. Alright, so I don't have any more news.
Okay, well in that case I shall double check see, because it is now 7:45 on a Saturday, so fingers crossed. Oh, I need to really fix up that branding, hang on. Here's some boobs in the meantime.
Aloha.
Aloha beaches. Okay, where was I? News. I'm gonna be really annoyed if there's gonna be a black screen for the however long. I swear to God, if it turns out it's just the fucking AV guy that's stuffed up 2 days in a row.
Why, was there still trial yesterday?
No clue, actually. We don't know, but based on what happened, based on what we came in on this morning, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Based on coming into those arguments directly from Drake's lawyers, I'm willing to bet that there were motions that were put forward yesterday. But whether or not the court want to just hear or see those, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Which is really the only reason that I'm not giving the guy a little bit more shit. Oh, absolutely. I love the machine. I played that video before, but I got copyright struck. So I hear you're the machine. Fucking love that story. China's major intervention in Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Interesting. Economic fairy tale. He's doing a movie? Fantastic.
Who's doing a movie?
Wait,
Oh. I got it. I caught up.
But I mean, is it like a like what kind of movie is it? Basically, is what I'm saying. What the hell has happened to the murder trial? Oh, never mind. It was me. I was behind.
Oh, it was good earlier. I was watching it before I streamed. They're violating its
Mr. Murdoch.
Fifth and Sixth Amendment.
We went through this for a while, but you remember at the beginning of your testimony, I asked you whether or not you agreed.
I don't know if it is for everybody else.
That
will be. Hang on.
Trying to explain your presence on the kennel video was the most important part of your testimony before this jury. Remember that? And you said, "Oh, not the most important." I said, "Was it at least important?" You recall that from yesterday?
Jesus.
Yeah, I recall you asking those questions, yes, sir.
That's so loud.
And you agree it's important, don't you?
Sorry, guys. Hang on.
I agree that is an important component. But I think there's a lot of
No one's
important
eardrum
components.
bleeding after that.
And you testified yesterday and during cross yesterday and cross today. It's kind of evolved on the fact of the factors that led you to decide to lie at some point during that interview with David Owen, correct?
I disagree with that. I don't think those factors have evolved. I mean, you've asked some more specific questions, but those factors are still the same factors. You may have asked questions and gained a little more detail, but those factors haven't changed.
But it was the dope paranoia. It was the fact that the deputy took your GSR. It was the fact that your law partners and Greg Alexander and the sheriff were telling you needed to have a lawyer before you talked to police. It was a factor that you got in the car with Dave Owen and thought he was somebody else from some case 10 years ago.
Trailer on Twitter.
Correct?
Thank you.
That believing David
Can I just
Owens
say, not all
was the
government
person
appointed
involved
rejects have to be assholes. Stingy is
in the
quite good.
case that I
He
talked
even sends me
about
shit to share.
was one of the factors that caused me to distrust SLED.
All right. And then also you said that they started
general.
asking you about, in that first interview, about your relationship with Maggie and Paula. And that's one thing you mentioned as well.
Shit,
And
Correct?
that was
Still
certainly
loud.
something that contributed to
Yeah,
me having
it's still
paranoid
louder.
thinking.
Yeah, still louder. Chat.
Okay,
So
hang on. Oh yeah, we'll be low because I have my mic set up for the other trial. Hang on.
Indigo, he's going to be doing cross for 3-4 more days.
Oh yeah, he's going to be doing cross for ages. What the hell is a gay flight?
What?
News headline: Straight man mistakenly books gay flight. Hello and welcome to our plane. Like, what
Don't
the
ever
fuck?
do that again. I didn't know they had gay flights.
Wait, she's what? Alright, I'll be back.
Are we good?
Qantas World Pride Flight. Ready to bring LGBTQI plus community from
Playing the
US
Daniel
to
Green body cam
Australia.
video, 2026.
They are dead on that.
Yes, sir. That's what it looks
Where are you now? All right. Yeah, the police are here now. The police are here now.
What do you mean
That's my
Stevie's
brother.
not from East Palestine?
When was the last time you were here with them? Or talked to them or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
That was Sergeant Green, correct?
Yeah, that was Sergeant Green.
And at that point in time, SLED was not there. No one had gotten GSR from you. Your law partners or Sheriff Hill were not there.
That's correct.
No one had asked you about your relationships. David Owen was not there.
That's correct.
But you still told the same lie. And all those
I
reasons
also wanna get
that
on
you
a
just
gay
gave
flight.
this jury about the most important part of your testimony was a lie too. Isn't that true, Mr. Murdoch?
I disagree with that.
Nothing further.
Whoa, he's done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break now. Please do not discuss the case.
Oh shit, I can't do anything, so it's gonna go to Long Cuck. Sorry, Hayden. Yeah, like this guy didn't book the gay flight. I'm looking at the...
You may step down. Please do not discuss the case. We'll take 15 minutes.
All rise.
Our microphones are gay and low? Shit.
Question to you. I want to get your take on what we have just seen in this last hour.
Is that
Sonny,
any better?
with
Is
Alex
that
Murdaugh
still
being
bad?
cross-examined. What are your big takeaways?
Alex Murdaugh is a liar. He lies easily, quickly.
You're a liar, Sonny
There's no
Slaughter.
excuse for it. He's always
How many
covering up
people have you
something
slaughtered?
behind something else. He's a master manipulator, and while I'm still not sure that he pulled the
I'll
trigger,
tell you a story.
I do believe that he is heavily involved in the murder of
Do you want a
his
ghost
wife
story
and son.
or
And Sonny, what do you expect,
A-
or what do you think we're going to see
an adult
with the
story?
redirect from the defense?
I think the redirect is going to try to close up holes to say, yes, he is a liar. Yes, he did commit these financial
That's her
crimes.
name. Her
but
name is
that
Sonny
the
Slaughter.
prosecution still has not completely tied the knot with the financial crimes and an actual murder. So you can be a criminal and a liar, but not necessarily a murderer. I think that's
No
where they're going to
shit,
go with
lady.
all of this.
Great, Sonny. Thank you for joining us. Gabriel's staying with
Okay,
me.
so
We're
this
gonna
one
take a
time
quick
I
break,
went to
but when we
Vegas,
come back, more of
and-
Alex Murdaugh on the stand. So stay tuned here at Law and Crime.
God, I wish I could do something about this, but I can't, so I'll just watch it. I wouldn't call it the most important. So there's one time in Vegas that I, went and partied. And shit, I'm hoping that Ozzy comes in to save me from myself here. What just happened where? Flux. You're right, Sarah. What happens in Vegas does stay in Vegas. So I can't talk. Flux, the courts with Murdaugh is in a break because they just finished Cross. And the XXXTentacion trial is not back yet. It still have a black screen that says live view.
The fuck happened?
What the fuck happened? What do you mean? They rested Cross or whatever. They were done with Cross, so
no shit.
Yeah, it went to Sonny Slaughter to talk about financial crimes in a fucking murder trial. So, and XXXTentacion says, I'm hearing in the chat that it's over, so I don't know if they're liars, but
that wouldn't shock me.
So, just so you know. Thanks, Achero. I was trying to tell a story about a time in Vegas, but Sarah told me that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and I agree.
Look, guys, in that case, hang on, where's that thing that Sinji sent me then?
I don't know. Where is it?
messages. There it is. Or was it on Discord? Might have been on Discord.
He didn't send it to me on Discord, so it must have just been you.
Yeah, no, there it is.
He sent me Tokyo Gore Police.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Oh, you don't want to see it.
What? No, something started in the background.
Oh. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hello, what's your name?
Jeremy Shu.
Oh, is this another court case?
Yeah.
Any change to your contact information, Mr. Shu?
Contact information would be my mother.
Okay, and is it okay to use that in the phone number for texting and calling?
Yes, it is.
So
that's my current address.
Okay.
I'm in the process
All right.
of moving, but yeah, that's my current address.
Okay, this is State of Michigan versus Jeremy Shu, 2240180. Your office was previously appointed on this matter. Mr. Hawthorne, you may proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Calvin Hawthorne, Public Defender Fellow, appearing on behalf of Mr. Shu. Your Honor, we are under the impression that this hearing is about a bond violation or a condition violation.
Yes.
All right. Well, Mr. Shu informs me, that he was not anywhere near the alleged address where he's supposed to stay away from, and that he's had no contact with that individual as well.
Go ahead, Mr. Dovey.
Your Honor, the police report, Washington County Sheriff's report from 6/18 of 2022 indicates he was arrested hiding in the bushes across the street.
Yeah. The police report states that at 5731 Dexter Pinckney Road, the caller reported that someone had walked through their backyard and hunkered down in their weeds. They don't know what he's doing. They believe he came from next door. They recognize the subject. He had done it before, white male in his 30s. The police approached the location where the subject was last seen in the woods. A white male was observed. I asked Jeremy Shu what he was doing. He told me he was just sitting. I questioned him about sitting in someone's weeds. He told me he was just sitting. He had just come from his friend's house. Okay, so the address that you're not supposed to be at, Mr. Shu, is
57, I believe, 57 something.
5721. You were found at 5731. And you're not supposed to have contact with somebody named Donna Eaton.
Did not.
Deputy Rob requested I attempt contact with Donna. I spoke to a female on the telephone who identified herself as Donna. I informed her of who I was, and when I mentioned Jeremy being at her house, she hung up the phone.
I did not have contact with him.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
When you put yourself in a situation that is standing right against the line of violating your bond, like being very, very close, then the police don't have any option but to assume you violated your bond. There's no reason for you to be there.
Ma'am?
Yes?
May I speak?
Sure.
I was at a party behind the residence, which was on Horseshoe Bend. It was like
I know where Horseshoe Bend is.
Okay, I was at a party there. when my understanding was two things. One, from Donna's mother, that Donna spoke to Judge Freshour and had the no contact order dropped.
Okay,
Also-
until someone gives you from the judge's mouth
Yes, ma'am.
that information, it's not true.
All right, yes, ma'am. The other thing is I went to the creek that was behind the residence to find my sandals.
Mr. Shu, I would just advise.
Yeah, because if your
You know-
sandals were there, you're too close.
That was from like a month ago where I dropped them, and I was just trying to get them.
Shouldn't have been there a month ago either.
Like I said, I never had contact with her. I wasn't on her property. I apologize for any inconvenience. I am currently a caregiver for my two uncles. My one uncle has cerebral palsy. My other uncle has circulation issues and can no longer properly care for my one uncle with cerebral palsy. I've been staying in Belleville, and that's where I intend to move to at some point once I get probation transferred and all the court stuff dealt with. I understand that I was on the line, and I don't want to do any of that anymore. I just want to go to Belleville and help my mother, my uncle.
Well, when you say you don't do any of that anymore, I mean, this is just from a couple of days ago. So, and like I said, I mean, I guess my problem is that
I don't.
When you're pushing the limits like that, as I said before, it's not a person who is trying to stay out of trouble is not putting their toes right against the line to see whether or not they get caught. Okay, so by being so close to the place where you're not supposed to be, you put your toes right against the line. And the police, then, it's not unreasonable, given your history, for the police to believe that you violated your bond.
I don't think that it is unreasonable.
Yeah, so when you push, that's what happens. So, did you recently post a bond in this case?
Yes, I posted a $1,500 cash bond, ma'am.
Okay,
That was, Judge Freshour had 2,000 and she dropped it. to
yeah,
10.
okay. Hold on one second, I gotta turn my microphone off for a second.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I think that the policy, unfortunately for you, and again, this is why it's not worth it to push the envelope, is that you have to be held without bond until you can see Judge Freshour. So that will be luckily this Thursday.
Okay. That's fine. I appreciate it. You made myself sorry for the inconvenience.
So Thursday, the corrections officers will make sure that you appear with Judge Freshour on Thursday. And someone from Mr. Hawthorne's office will be there with you. You'll be able to discuss whether or not a violation occurred and what the penalty is at that time.
All right. Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
State of Michigan versus Jeremy Shu, 22F10970. I have received a petition requesting a court-appointed lawyer. I will sign that. I believe that we've already updated Mr. Shu's contact information, so I'm not going to bother to verify that. You may proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Hannah Applepring with and on behalf of Mr. Shu. I have reviewed the complaint with him, so we will waive a formal reading and stand mute at this time.
Okay, may address bond when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Regarding bond, he is set for a bond violation hearing tomorrow. I have reviewed the bond form with Mr. Shu, so he's aware of those conditions that are being requested. No objection there, and we'd request the next available court date for him.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr.
For
Shu.
any of those wondering, I clicked on the wrong
I would
video. This is
honestly
not
like
the follow-up
to
to the video
have
from
a
yesterday.
formal complaint.
But
Sure.
seems like this will be funny enough anyway.
The complaint in this matter states that on or about June 23rd, 2022, at 2201 Hogback
Getting closer and closer to me.
Road, Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan. Defendant is accused of bribing, intimidating, or interfering with witnesses, giving, offering to give, or promising a relationship to a person in order to influence the person's testimony or to prevent the person from.
Well, I appreciate that, and that, at least we're making your week a little bit brighter, I suppose.
Proceeding. This is a felony with a maximum of 4 years and/or $5,000.
Since I have not reviewed the complaint and have not had the ability to review the complaint, can you tell me who the alleged arresting officer and/or complaining witnesses is?
The complaining witness is Officer Thomas Robb of the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
I took testimony today from Sinks.
She is either a freshly minted public defender,
Detective Thomas Sinks.
or she has some incredible
Testimony to me
genetics.
Was that 2 phone calls?
I've
were
seen
made to
teenagers that
Miss,
look older than her.
Donna, I think you say her last name, Newton.
I think she's using a hell of a lot of filter on that Zoom.
You were instructing her about what to say when she came to court.
Okay,
The lines aren't
I
sharp in the
understand what
back
the
either.
testimony is, ma'am. There's no validity to that, but it is what it is. I understand that's not what
She could just be that vain.
Someone listens to the recordings.
Yes, I understand. I completely understand.
Okay, and you're not supposed to talk to her at all about anything.
Okay.
You know that already. I mean, we just saw each other.
I completely understand. I'll say this: I reserve my First Amendment right to freedom of association and my 14th Amendment substantive due process right to marry and/or have a relationship with whoever I choose. That's really all I'm going to say today.
Okay. And I'll say this. You and I had a long conversation. We were very clear about what you were ordered and not ordered to do. Court orders, pardon the expression, trump your right to associate freely until your court case is over. So you're not accused today of violating that court order because you already were accused of violating the court order. So this is where we are now.
I completely understand, ma'am, and I'm not trying to be argumentative towards the court, nor it seems a little suspicious to me that I have a court hearing tomorrow, which I'm going to be let out. I was supposed to be released based on invalid allegation, and now all of a sudden they're trying to throw whatever dirt they can towards me. So I understand.
Okay. This is a felony charge. I'm going to set a bond on this case because of the nature of the charge, as well as your status on the other things. Setting the bond at 5,000, 10%.
All right, I appreciate it, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. McDuffie, did you want to say something? I'm familiar with Mr. Shu. I understand what your office is requesting.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. I just had a couple of notes from the APA who's handling this case, and it was pointed out that on this particular matter, apparently Mr. Shu has not appeared voluntarily. It's only been when he's in custody. However, I do have Mr. Shu on some unrelated sort of traffic cases in 2 other courtrooms, and I've always seen him appear, so that
That's not for this matter, though. Because
no, I understand.
We're in a new case.
Yes, I'm just saying that the notes in terms of his appearances, willingness to appear, ability to appear, et cetera, are just reflecting that just in terms of flight risk, et cetera. So
Yeah.
that was all.
The bigger flight risk, honestly, is his unwillingness to follow court orders. But I believe that Judge Freshour will deal with that. Okay, I'm setting this at 5,000, 10%.
Can I say one thing? I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to cut you off, and I completely apologize. I am filing, just so the prosecutor office know, and for the record can reflect, I will be filing a civil lawsuit based on malicious prosecution. That'll be filed in federal court within the next couple days.
Fantastic.
I think we should not waive the timeframes, Miss Apple, because I don't know when he's going to be able.
Yeah, I was requesting the next available, so.
Okay, next available is July 7th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Chair, 5,010% means that the bond itself is $5,000. He has to put $500 in
No contact
court,
with,
and
I
if he
gotta give you
skips
a
the
couple of
bail, he has to pay the
conditions. No
entirety of the $5,000.
contact with Donna Uten. Do not go to her address on.
Okay.
And you already have a tether in that other case, don't you?
No, I do not. I have no tether.
Okay, I'm ordering a tether.
Okay. Is that before or after I pay whatever bond?
When you are released from custody, a GPS tether will be put on you. I'm trying to decide whether I want the tether to restrict you to your home or prevent you from being where she is. I'm also going to order that you not use the phone while you're in jail.
So my civil rights are even more restricted now.
These aren't your civil rights, sir. You misunderstand. I get why you feel that way, but that's not what this is. When a person is accused of committing a crime, then it's the court is permitted to put some restrictions on their liberty. I'm not restricting your civil rights. I'm balancing your rights to be free from any interference with Miss Uten's rights to be safe.
I'll say this all stemmed from an argument that there was no physical violence from myself nor threats from myself. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, and I understand what you're trying to tell me, and it's okay for you to tell me the things that you're telling me, but I have not forgotten what our last interaction was like.
I completely understand, ma'am. Like I said, I'm not trying to be argumentative.
All right. So I'm going to order the GPS tether to keep you from her location. That's less restrictive than confining you to your home. So the GPS tether prior to your release from jail with as the hotspot. No contact means you can't initiate contact. It also means you can't reply if she contacts you. You can't use social media or any third party to have contact with her. No criminal behavior, no assaultive behavior, no weapons. And I'm ordering you not to use the phone in the jail. Well, I need to speak to someone. I need to speak to someone in the jail. Could you ask one of the corrections officers to?
I believe there's one sitting right here.
Hi. There's a request from the prosecutor's office that Mr. Shue have a restriction not to use the phone. I don't know what that looks like. That's not something I usually order because I think that sometimes people need to use the phone for other reasons. So what do you have any thoughts on that? I'm not asking you to make the decision, but if there's something you can tell me about what phone use is like.
So you probably could call the sergeant and they can give you a better.
Okay.
What to do and what not to do, I guess.
We'll call Arnett then.
Yep, perfect. Yep.
Okay, thanks. Ms. McDuffie, anything you want to say about that? That's a request from your office, and I understand why it's being requested, but I'm not sure that that's an appropriate restriction.
I understand, Your Honor. I've seen it as well, and I've had a couple other cases with jail calls, with intimidation issues, and it's essentially all we can do to prevent that contact. So it would be one thing if you could sort of say no calls to this number, but there are ways to sort of circumvent that as well. So it's kind of all we can do to,
Right.
May I say one thing?
Yes.
And again, I apologize, and I understand that this is an inconvenience for everybody. I have court tomorrow based on the controlling domestic violence case.
Yeah.
If and when that controlling domestic violence case is dismissed and or voided or whatever, does this case control that one, or does that one control this one?
No, neither.
Okay.
They're two separate cases. You are right to think that there should be a connection because but for the misdemeanor, this one wouldn't matter. But they're really two separate cases. This is a guess, but my guess is that if the one is dismissed, that does have a slightly different flavor for the witness intimidation case, but they do go forward. I've seen people charged with witness intimidation a year after the underlying case was dismissed.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's clear to myself.
Can we get a hold of Arnett? If I restricted your phone calls, which I would like to do, who?
Okay, I'm not sure I want to watch the entirety of this. I was more interested in the crying chick from yesterday, let's be honest. But first things first, guys, I'm putting Jeff's Fuck It Friday stream link in the chat just so you've got it. Because that's where I'll be in about 3.5 hours. But where is the... where the fuck's it gone? Shit. Hate when this happens. Discord. Nope, that's Steam. Why have I got Steam open? I don't need Steam right now. Where's Discord gone? There it is. Discord. The Friday streams are always awesome, honestly. No, I don't want to play that in Discord. I want to... Same judge. This is going to be fun.
CR 136, State of Kansas versus Karis Juna Green. Is Miss Green here?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. All right. Do we have lab reports on Miss Green's case?
No, Your Honor, we don't. Or I'm not aware of any. Still might have it, but
not have lab reports. Judge, I did get a bond violation information sheet from Court Services Jessica Morgan. Miss Green is not reporting on her bond supervision like she is supposed to. Her bond included a requirement to report to Court Services weekly. And
guessing she didn't do
she's
that.
supposed to be calling in Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. Has not done so.
All right, first order of business, we have no lab reports. This happened July 29th, but we still don't have lab reports in November. All right. No labs. This too will be continued to January 20th. My displeasure, January 20th at 1:30. Second order of business. Last
Shit, I
time
was
I
muted.
talked to Miss,
I was going to ask, you're good?
hold on a minute.
So as soon as they make their announcement, come over to Mighty Meat Stream. We're
Thanks.
building Legos. And I'm building an awesome train that I started last night. And it's fantastic.
Okay, I said that
Come
wrong.
on.
And just for
This
that, I'm going to
happened
make sure we don't
August
give the
23rd.
announcement until after he starts streaming.
And we still don't have lab reports, but nevertheless, January 20th at 1:30.
So I'll tell you
Miss
the
Green-
I'll tell you the surprise
Miss Green,
announcement.
where are you?
Just come
And
over
this
to
time,
me.
tell me the truth.
I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Is she though? Is
Did
she?
did you show up for that extradition hearing the following day after our last conversation?
No.
Well,
I wonder
let's
if
start over.
what's his
Did
face
you-
is going to
do you
show up and
remember our
say,
last
"Oh yeah, by the way,
conversation?
I'll guarantee that she does this, that, and the
Yeah,
other."
when I got out of jail.
Do you remember our conversation on Zoom in court?
Yeah, that you weren't going to you were going to keep my warrant
Right.
active.
And I believe the marshals took you into custody, right?
Yeah, and I went to jail.
And you
And I
had
got
an and they set you an extradition hearing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I never got any of the information for that.
So
Because I remember it was supposed to be on Thursday, but I was still in jail
Right.
during that time.
My understanding is you missed a court date out there. You failed to appear. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so after I got out of jail, my laptop and my antibiotics and my phone got stolen and my purse. And so then I got really sick. I had to
What's Michael?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's what I was thinking. Are we
And
looking at
I had to
someone's
go to the
ear? I don't think they
hospital
realize that the
and
camera's on.
get like antibiotics.
I think it's his hand,
Like
but
yeah.
So are
And-
you still staying with that kind gentleman that you were with when you saw me last?
No, I'm not. I haven't had any contact with him.
All right, where are you now?
I'm over off of, I'm in downtown Colorado Springs.
Well, I want an exact address. Where are you?
the same one.
I am at, I need to find the address. Sorry.
The dad angle. Oh, apparently there's a bit of fast forwarding going
Let
on.
me know when you have it.
Oh, there we go.
There it goes.
So, Miss Green, you don't know off the top of your head what your address is?
Well, we can only hope.
It's
It would be very, very entertaining.
3,000
God, I hope so.
and 3,030
Stevie says that's not from the
West Pikes Peak Avenue.
from the train derailment.
West
He
Pikes
sent me
Peak
convincing
Avenue?
evidence that it went the other way
Colorado
And I was
Springs,
right.
Colorado. What's your zip code?
originally.
80904.
Okay. 30904?
80904.
Say that again, please. I'm not getting it right.
880904. And I lost Jessica Morgan's number and I've been trying to get it, but I didn't know where her number was at. And I
Okay, well,
tried
I'm
calling
not,
my mom.
that zip code's not working out for me.
80904.
And then dash something else?
I don't know the dash.
All right, okay. All right, and who are you living with there?
I'm living with my friend Roy.
Your friend Roy? What's Roy's last name?
I don't know. He's
Smith.
my latest pimp.
Roy
Smith.
Okay. Is he in any trouble with the law?
No.
Okay. All right, so you failed to attend the court hearing you had in Colorado, is that right?
Yes. Yes. I need to call
Andrew, I don't think
Colorado,
she's high.
my
I think she's
attorney in
just
Colorado, and see if I can get something figured out with that because I
Yeah,
was
I mean, she may be going
really
through withdrawals,
sick
but
at
I
the
don't
time
know
of
that she's
that.
high at this point.
and then I just got over like a really bad like pneumonia type cold.
Pneumonia like cold, okay.
Yeah.
So you have an attorney in Colorado, who's your attorney?
I don't know it off the top of my head. I just remember that they kept the attorney that I had when I went to jail, just in case something were to happen.
Quite possibly, Tweety.
So I will call them after this and get that information.
Okay, so
And then-
Miss Gillette, are you wanting to take up some kind of motion hearing today?
Judge, we would just say that we would like the warrant to continue and the warrant to continue with no bond.
So she's gonna get arrested and she ain't coming
I'm not
back
gonna take
out.
the hearing up, the motion up and make all these other people wait. So let me, once again, Ms. Green, put you on hold and let me come back, pick up some of these other people that don't have the kind of issues you do. So I'm going to be in recess on Green. Don't go away, Miss Green.
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Green is in Colorado Springs at 30, well, we've already got that. Now, Miss Green, you seem to be having a situation where you want to appear on your time instead of the court's time.
Cox is back.
I told you the last time you phoned in for a Zoom hearing to make sure that you surrendered on all your warrants. Have you done that?
No.
I need to work on that. Like I said, I didn't have a phone, and it was like other people around me didn't have a phone. Like they wouldn't have service, and it's like this whole big mess. But I did get a job.
Well, before we go to your job, let's talk about these warrants.
Yeah.
Since I'm in Kansas and you said you were in Alaska, but in reality you were in Colorado.
Yeah.
And you're not turning yourself in on your warrants, and you're managing to get Zoom codes and call in on Zoom ever so often. What am I going to do with you?
Throw Ross in jail.
I know that I
Extradition.
made a big mistake for missing court that day. Trust me, I really wish I could go back
No one
time
trusting
and
you,
just,
honey.
Mr. Ambrose, I don't know if you're familiar with this Miss Green's history, but I think I've just summed it up. She's kind of waving it in the court's face that I can't get her here in person when I tell her to, and I can't get her to turn herself in on warrants when I tell her to.
I'm not trying to wave it in your face. I was just
I'm just doing it
trying
anyway.
to show up for court.
Show up for court on her terms. But the last hearing, she told me she was in Alaska at the beginning of the hearing. Come to find out she was actually in Colorado.
That was.
I believe she was actually arrested while she was in the Zoom hearing.
Yeah.
How many warrants, Miss Green, do you have out right now, if you know?
I just have yours and then Colorado's, but Colorado would go away if we were able to like settle this Kansas's warrant.
So they have you on a failure to appear warrant on the extradition.
Yes, that I
So, Mr. Ambrose, do you have any
mixed up with the
Let's see if Mr. Ambrose has anything to say on this, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. So, like you said, I'm relatively new to this, and I knew that there was some extradition stuff going on. Wasn't sure the full extent of that. What my request would be, Your Honor, is that while we've had it sounds like there's been some issues prior to me getting involved. She has appeared here today. She has been in contact with me. I had a phone appointment with her earlier this week. Our request would be that the warrant be lifted with, the understanding that she has be showing up for future hearings. She did inform me that she was in Colorado when I spoke with her the other day as well. That's consistent. Would ask that warrant be lifted and that we continue moving forward. We do have it set for a status on 1/20 of 22 at 1:30. And I understand that it sounds like she got herself quite sideways with the court before I got involved, and I will do what I can to make sure that that is not an issue again.
You do that.
Also need
Hold on, Ms.
Jessica's
Green.
number.
You need whose number?
Jessica Morgan's number.
Who's that?
Well, and she's your bond supervisor. And you have, Ms. Morgan, I understand she has not been seeing
Oh, there
you,
she is.
staying in contact with you.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Has she made any contact with you at all?
She has contacted me right after, I have the notes here. She called me 2 days after court, and we discussed that she would call me Tuesdays, 8:30, every week. She had her first appointment on October 4th, and she did not call. So I contacted her number, and it was disconnected on the 13th.
Yes, she
Also
does have
contacted
forehead
another
tattoo.
number in Odyssey, and it was her mother's number, and I was provided her new contact number, and she did not answer. She did contact me on October 15th, but that was a Saturday at 10:45 p.m. After that, I have not heard from her.
Were you available to take her call on the Saturday after 5?
Your Honor, it was at 10:45 p.m.
Oh, 10:45. So the answer is no. You weren't there. You didn't have a conversation.
Correct.
Okay. All right, Ms. Gillette, what has the state to say on this issue?
Your Honor, we have continual problems with Miss Green not coming to court. I'd like to get her case wrapped up and done. I am still waiting on the lab results, but she misses court, then she calls in and wants it rescheduled on her time. She's got outstanding warrant for her extradition in Colorado because she didn't show back up for it. She's been dishonest with the court, not reporting to her CSO. Got the second chance to report to CSO. I mean, the court has been over backwards for Miss Green is not bending over backwards for the court. At this point, all she's done is be untruthful and not show up.
We can fix her, Obama.
That's all I got to say.
Okay.
There's a certain level of crazy
Under
you just
Sheriff
can't
Cox,
fix.
have you anything to add?
I completely agree with the state's opinion, and I feel that she needs to do the right thing and go turn herself in.
Well, we know I've told her that. I don't know how many times. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Ms. Green, the warrant's going to remain active under Sheriff Cox. I want to make sure there's a no bond hold on that so they don't, if I can help it, they won't release her on a bond where she can fail to
She's
come
just
to court.
forgetful. I doubt it.
Like
I doubt
last
it.
time.
We'll need to update that, Ms. Gillette.
Whatever we need to do to get a no bond hold on that, if they will honor that. And
They will, Your Honor.
okay, because if we get our hands on her again, I don't want her running off again. Because she hasn't kept her word to them and their bond any more than she has to me and our bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you gonna turn yourself in, Miss Green?
What do they think she's going to say to that?
Miss Green, was that an answer?
What?
Are you gonna turn yourself in?
Yeah, I've been trying to work on it.
When are you gonna turn yourself in?
As soon as I can get the money to get down there. I just
Just turn yourself in at local
Turn
law
yourself
enforcement.
into Colorado.
The jail there is really bad.
What was that?
Listen, Miss Green,
The jail
you're gonna
in
get a free,
Colorado is really bad.
you're gonna get a free ride from us here. You don't need money to get here. And you have to take care of your Colorado warrant also.
I know, but my
Okay.
Colorado warrant would go away. The charge would be dropped if I were to get the warrant quashed in
Oh, look,
Kansas.
some jails are better than others. But
Well, your Kansas warrant isn't going to be quashed.
I know
don't
that.
believe you're gonna turn yourself in, and I think you're going to get, as Under Sheriff Cox said, a trip to Kansas courtesy of the taxpayers, because I can't trust you to turn yourself in. And so.
And the way he said that before, yeah, I guarantee the marshals are
Yes,
on
a
route.
couple quick
the way
things
the way he
before
said it,
we
you're gonna get a free ride from us.
Wrap this up.
And I'm like, yeah, in the next few minutes.
So, with the status of this now,
Wayne County Jail in Detroit is the worst place I've
kind of
ever been.
the tenor of the court to where we're at right now, Do you still
it's
want
terrible.
to keep that preliminary hearing status set for January 20th, or do you not want to set it for future proceedings at this point, or how do you want to handle that, since she does have that outstanding warrant that has to be resolved before we can do anything else?
Well, I'm going to tentatively leave it on there in case we get her, we can use it.
Okay.
You see any
And then-
harm with leaving it on the docket as a? in case
No,
we-
Your Honor, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. And then
No.
secondly,
Yeah, but I am going to order that she appear personally for that hearing and not by Zoom.
okay. And secondly, Your Honor, and I don't know what language is normally used in the 8th, or in your judicial district. I'm sorry, not the 8th. You're not the 8th. In your judicial district for these no bond hold warrants, but is the language used normally no bond set until first appearance then?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Just making sure that that's the language we were using. I appreciate that, Your Honor.
yes. No bond hold till she sees the judge. And maybe that's where it went wrong in Colorado, maybe under sheriff. Is that what happened there? They set a bond that she could make and then she didn't show
I can't
up?
keep looking at that sheriff
Yes,
without
they did
seeing
an
Yondu from Guardians of the
extradition
Galaxy.
bond through their court system.
Yeah.
We have never received a return on the original $7,000 bond even from us.
I have to have certain paperwork from the Colorado courts to do the governor's warrant, and she hasn't even got to that point because she didn't show up for her hearing there.
Okay,
Because we're prepared to do the governor's warrant as soon as we get that information so that we can bring her out here to finish her case.
well, I know a lot of courts will accept the bond recommendations that go with
David,
the
don't feel
warrant.
bad for her.
So
She has made a
maybe
lot
rather
of
than no bond hold, I just need to set a
really
very
bad
high
decisions to get to
bond
this point.
to try to assure her appearance. Under Sheriff Cox, have you had any experience there with Colorado to know whether I'm better off with a no bond hold or setting a very high bond?
No bond hold, Your Honor.
Okay,
I don't believe they can set an extradition bond there if she's on a no bond hold.
all right. Well, I want to make sure I get you back here, Miss Green, and I just haven't been able to do it any other way. All right, anything further, Mr. Ambrose?
Not for
Yeah,
me, Judge.
they work fucking quick when they have
Thank
exact
you. Mr.
location.
Gillette, anything further from the
Mhm.
state?
Not on this matter, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you all. We'll be adjourned.
She needs Miss Morgan's phone number, Your Honor.
Oh, can we put them in
Is there
a,
really going to be any value? I mean, are we going to just be tying up Miss Morgan's time if she's not even going to be really on bond? At this point, she's not really on bond as I see it.
No, she's not.
She can tell Miss Morgan where she is, but it sounds like she changes addresses and phone numbers so fast. You can't keep up with her. So I'm not going to make Miss
I told you
Morgan,
I got my phone stolen. And my phone stolen. I was in the hospital. I got sick.
Okay, but you're well now. Are you?
I still have a pretty bad bronchitis cough.
Well, go to
This
Go to
person you're
jail.
staying
They'll
with, is
treat
that
you
a
there,
good friend
don't
that
they?
you've known for a long time?
Yeah.
Well, I only got to Colorado in March of 2025, minus the month
So
because
it's
I was
just
in
some-
Vegas.
the fuck were you doing in Vegas?
So
Why do you
everybody
move
that I
around
know
so
here
much?
is from March. But yeah, I trust
Why are
them.
you moving around so much?
Huh?
Why are you moving around so much? You said you were going to go to Alaska and stay with your mother.
She said a lot of things. You're really surprised at this point, Your Honor?
I hope no. I
All
hope
right,
not.
we'll be in recess at this time.
Thank you.
The judge is so done.
Thank you. Missy, do we have anything else on the docket?
I don't believe so.
Not as good
Oh,
as the
there
first
you
one.
go. No, it wasn't. Watching her get absolutely wrecked and arrested was hilarious. I do want to play a couple of videos that I came across both yesterday and this morning. think she'd learned to run by now. I think that's why she was moving around so much, but I might have hung up the minute the cop said free ride. Yeah. I'm shocked that it obviously didn't happen on camera this time. I would honestly be shocked if she didn't get arrested at some point in the next however long. Hey, Sean, where were you yesterday? You missed me comparing Kanye's burger, Kanye's mascot and the burger thing to the gay mural, which was interesting.
To the pedo bear.
To the pedo bear, yes. Okay, where are we? I want to full screen this. Although, you know what? Actually, what I want to do is take that and put that into the private screen there.
You're touching my privates?
Not this time around.
Oh.
Actually, I'm not sure if I want to show the second one because I don't want to get done for YouTube again for showing gratuitous violence or some shit. I've got to log into Twitter to watch that one anyway, so maybe I'll skip that. So, I don't know if anyone has seen this as of yet, but present, share screen. So, this guy is president of an organization called Gays Against Groomers.
Okay.
What he has said here, as far as I'm concerned, is very powerful and very important. And I think it's probably a good idea that, yes, it's the Switch teacher, Stingy. Yep. So the other video, for anyone that doesn't know, was a white female teacher took a Nintendo Switch from a 6'4" black student. In the hallway outside the classroom, he beat the shit out of her.
Wow.
And said that if he came back, he was going to kill her.
Damn.
So, all right. But let's watch this, because this is reasonably powerful. And I would love to get your opinion specifically on it.
This flag does not represent me. Good evening. My name is Frank Rodriguez, and I'm the Executive Director of Operations for Gays Against Groomers. The reason that I'm here is to show support in regards to deciding to not fly the gay flag during June. I'm a 31-year-old gay man pushing back against the hijack agenda of the LGBT Incorporated. The pride flag, this flag, does not represent me. When you're a conservative gay and you have conservative...
I'm not gonna lie, I honestly didn't understand what a conservative gay was. I didn't know that they could exist.
Yeah, recently.
This guy is based as fuck when you listen to the rest of it.
Traditional values, it doesn't represent you. I am tired of this community trying to represent me and the millions of people that support people like me. Gays Against Groomers represents millions of like-minded LGBT members. And the people in this building are upset because they think that they're being marginalized. Do you see Chinese people in here upset that we're not flying the Chinese flag on Chinese New Year's? Or how about Cinco de Mayo when the Mexicans got their independence? Do you see Mexicans in here upset? No. You see my community, the gay people that want to be marginalized, that make victims of ourselves.
Oh, actually, hang on. Damn it, we're already more than halfway in. Flux, if I send you a link, will you come in and discuss? I would love to get your opinion on this too.
Why did you ask a lesbian and then say you would really like to get my opinion on it, Hayden?
Because you're conservative and have very staunch views? Is that not okay?
Good save, but I think you were saying I was gay.
Look, your homosexuality has absolutely nothing to do with my opinion on this matter, okay? I purely wanted to get yours because... I purely wanted to get your opinion on it because I know you have very strong values in relation to certain aspects, and take it how you want.
Okay. I am a
Tweety
conservative lesbian.
Conservative lesbian, anyway. Hang on, I need to. What do I need to do? Fox, where do I find you? You're on Twitter, aren't you? I would really like it if everyone could just all be in one place. Messages.
Shizzy, I'm only gay on days that are on the calendar.
Driving home at the gas station. Okay, no worries. That's fine then. Who did you say you're only gay on days on the calendar? Okay.
Yeah.
Else. This flag that I'm standing on no longer represents me. This is not your fault. I'm not yelling at you. I'm upset because people like this are constantly representing my community. They make us look like fools. They make us look dumb. And I'm tired of it. This flag does not represent everyone.
It wasn't commie, it was fascist. Get your totalitarian regimes right, Val. No, legitimately, getting in contact with people, whether they're on Discord or on Twitter or whatever else, it makes it really difficult. And although, to be fair, when Nick got booted off of Twitter, he lost like all of his contacts, so maybe it's better that I'm spread out. Anyway. Where was I?
This is not your fault. I'm not yelling at you. I'm upset because people like this are constantly representing my community. They make us look like fools. They make us look dumb. And I'm tired of it. This flag does not represent everyone. With liberty and justice for all. That flag, this flag, the American flag, 13 stripes and 50 stars represent this. Represent us. Not this. Not this. And if the gay community would wake up, we wouldn't have this pushback. Stop indoctrinating children, and these types of things wouldn't happen. One more thing. One more thing. Do you know where I can find a trash can?
Thoughts?
Okay, that guy's so gay. That's my first thought.
Yes, that was very clear.
Yeah, finger up and everything. Like, why can't we judge everything based on one thing? Well, so here's my couple things. So, one, I know that I have expressed very loud opinions on freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I don't think replacing a flag applies to either. I think the flag is a national symbol, and there shouldn't be another flag up there, just the American one.
What about the state flags being flown next to them?
The state flags are always on a different level than.
Oh yeah, of course. You always fly the country flag higher than you do the state flag. We do the same thing here.
Right.
Right. It's. I'm not going to lie. There's a certain other flag that gets flown at the same level as the Australian flag, and it annoys the shit out of me because it shouldn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about the ABBA one. I'm talking about the gay
for
ones.
Fuck's sake.
Oh shit. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Move on.
Yeah. You'll see either a replacement with the gay flag, or you'll see, it flown at the same level. The United States flag is supreme. It is the highest and should be the highest, biggest, and most prominent. Anyways, the second part of that, I completely agree. I think that there's too much grooming in schools, and many flags like it are being used to perpetuate different stereotypes and different missions, different agendas. So I think it's disgusting. And
so do you think at this point that the LGBT sort of agenda has been co-opted by very specific elements? And like, what do your people feel about this? And when I say people, I mean Americans. I don't mean there's not another veiled attempt at calling you gay. I'm legitimately saying, how do Americans feel like this? Or do the general public just not care, you think?
No, I think the general public is starting to wake up to the fact that this is just another attempt at a Marxist takeover. I think that it's incredibly important to, even the gays don't, so a lot of the mission critical gays that are wanting to push grooming and pedophile are
twisted fuckery.
Right.
Yep.
They'll stand behind this, and you'll see them carrying that and the transgender flag and the this flag and the that flag.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a gay conservative or a gay X or a gay not in that lifestyle, you won't make a big deal about it. Like, you don't need to know who I'm providing oral sex to, whether they have an innie or an outie.
This is true.
So, and that's the conservative point of view, or there are plenty of people that are gay that you'll never know, or should never know. So, yeah.
Oops.
That's my thought there.
Yeah, no, look, I entirely agree with that. I think, what's that? It's like 30-70 for and against. Really?
Yeah, I would probably say, yeah. It's probably pretty close.
For the record, anyone that saw that video pop up about Mike, that was completely unrelated. That's the video that started playing after the court case that we just watched. Where's the actual? You know, fuck it. If this stream gets taken for violence or whatever the fuck else, I don't particularly care. I think it's important that this one gets seen as well.
Oh, do you want me to go more in depth? Because you acted disappointed, like I had some major.
No. I very much appreciate your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Now you know Flux is driving 100 miles an hour. Okay, so look, I'll be honest, I don't believe that they needed to tag Black History Month in this, but on Tuesday, the 21st of February 2013, a African-American 6'6", 270-pound student attacked a white teacher at Matanzas High School for taking away his Nintendo Switch during class. The student is seen kicking and punching the unconscious woman in the back and head around 15 times. When the student was escorted away by deputies, he spit at the teacher and then made comments that when he comes back, he was going to kill her. Now, I want to make it very clear, YouTube, I'm not showing this gratuitously. I'm showing this because it is important. And I'm going to be pausing and making comments, in particular on his technique.
And, of course, the teacher's black and the student's white, right?
No, other way around.
No way.
I know, right? I'm shocked.
Holy shit.
But to be fair, how many students are you going to find that are 6'6" that are white these days?
That's true.
Okay, so she's walking along. Sees her coming. At this point, this chick's already freaking the fuck out. She's scared. He's already coming at her with a vengeance. Did they lock him up and throw away the key? Not that I'm aware of so far.
Nah, probation.
No, because this was only on, like, Tuesday.
Arizona? Flagler County?
Hang on, where are we?
Florida.
Florida, yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? No. Just to show that I'm actually doing this in news related, here we go. We'll start with the news article. Florida student viciously attacks school employee for taking his Nintendo Switch. A 6'6" Florida teen. Interesting that they've left a certain aspect out there. Weighing 270 pounds, was filmed beating a 5'6" school staff member. Didn't mention that she was a female teacher, just a staff member. Unconscious on Tuesday after she took his Nintendo Switch console away during school. Deputies from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office arrested the 17-year-old student, took him to the Department of Juvenile Justice while the staff member was hospitalized. Local News 10 report that the teen is facing charges of felony aggravated battery with bodily harm for his actions. Footage of the assault spread across social media and went viral. In the video, you can see the teen run up to the staff member and knock her to the ground. While on the floor, the student proceeds to kick and punch her multiple times before others were able to get him off. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this. 'Cause I figure if I break it up, they can't give me they can't crack me for it. That's a heavy hit to start with. I'm pretty sure at this stage she's already unconscious.
You're not sharing the video anymore.
Oh. She hits, that's straight on her head as she goes down. Like that's a heavy hit. And this chick here is just looking on like, what the fuck? Where are we? Eventually, the student had to be restrained after he tried further attacking her while students and faculty at the high school tended to her aid. Alright, a little bit more.
Holy shit. Did you see my message?
There was a message?
Yeah.
Huh. That 12 probably testified was justified. Just about knocked her out of her shoes? Yeah. This is... Game Boy Advance. Play that shit when you get home. Exactly. 17 years. For what he's done, I would fully be applying to the court to have him tried as an adult. Honestly. Don't blame the woman for not intervening. She get messed up too. Yeah, but it's the way that she's just standing around. Like, she didn't, like, call... It doesn't appear that she's calling for help or anything like that. She's just like, oh, look at what's going on over there.
Let's be fair. That bitch could have been talking back and deserved it.
The actions of this student are absolutely horrendous and uncalled for, the sheriff said in a statement. We hope that the victim will recover both mentally and physically from this incident. Thankfully, students and staff members came to the victim's aid before the SRDs could arrive. SRDs? Sheriff's Department? Okay. Our schools should be a safe place both for employees and students. Oh yeah, because this is particularly safe.
Do you want me to tell you what an SRD is?
What's an SRD?
Student Resource Deputy.
Oh, the cops that are...
School cops.
School cops, yeah.
Yep.
See, that's just weird to me, because that's not a concept that we have here. She failed to make him a sandwich. Charge him with attempted murder? Yeah, well, I mean, look. Like, she's on the ground here, she's unconscious, and look how many times he hits her. So, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, James. Like, he is just not stopping. And that's hits to the head. That's hits to the back of her head.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This is a very nice area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. He's probably from Jacksonville. Never mind. Oh, that was terrible.
They have SID in schools with a problem demographic primarily. Interesting.
No, we have them.
That was a racist slur.
And they're very. My school district is very white. Oh.
The guy walking up's taking his sweet fucking time? Yeah.
Florida has issues, Tweety, but again, this is a really nice area.
This is true. So he just keeps wailing on her. And notice how out of the people that come to her aid, 3 of them are women.
Yep.
Like, it's messed up that it took 3 women and a white guy there to get him off of her.
Why you gotta be white?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why the fuck why did more people not intervene?
He's the police.
Well, see, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that he looked like a police officer, but the video's grainy, so I can't tell.
Yeah, he's definitely a cop. Look at his haircut.
Yeah, and he's got a... You sure? Do cops walk around with, like, the blue pants with the red stripe down this? I thought that was a military uniform.
I don't think those are blue with the red stripe. He could be a Marine. I don't know. But he looks like a
That's
cop.
definitely a red stripe there.
Okay. Yeah, I might be a Marine then.
Yeah, everyone had their phones out, exactly. Oh, and he goes back! Piece of shit! It's that last split second where they try and move her and she's a rag doll. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that. What? He's a special needs student. He lives in a group home. Folks are blaming the school, the teacher, and the police. Do not put your kids in public schools. If you're a teacher, run for your life. Yeah, I was pretty sure I was a Marine. Kind of random for a Marine just to be walking through a school, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of odd. I thought it was a cop because I only saw his shirt at first. Like, I just saw the brown, and I'm like, oh, it's a deputy. But
he was escorted away by deputies, spat at the teacher, made comments that he was going to come back and kill her. This all happened like 2 days ago, people, so we don't have a lot of information.
ROTC.
So.
He was way too old to be a ROTC cadet.
So, but anyway, I just thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention. There's a number of things that were wrong with that scenario, but it is now 9 o'clock. So, guys, I'm going to sign off. Hang on, where are we? I've got to do the usual. Oh, no. Guys, so as I said, this will be today was the last day that we'll be following the live stream of the XXXTentacion murder trial. Please make sure you watch Jeff's Fuck It Friday stream, probably in the first hour or so, because I will be there to make the announcement as to the trial that we'll be covering from Monday. And I still have this bloody video playing in front of me, and that is very distracting.
Can I say it today? No, you go ahead. I don't want to steal your thunder.
You're on screen. Go for it.
Thank you, chat. Remember, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and you're not a piece of shit. Even hitting the like button brightens our day. Thank you, chat. We love you.
I hate how well he did that. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. See you all later. Oh, hang on. That was close.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh, he almost blew it.
Shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care.